What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'll tell you what we're doing here. It's Monday. It's 6 p.m. Perchy, what are we doing here?
So, as we do, we like to do a recap of the week from what happened. So, in a week, we've heard news that we've activated a release clause and then not signed a football player. Said football player that we've activated a release clause for, speak English, played for his ex-club or current club, whichever. We don't know who he plays for anymore. And now he's not gone on a pre-season tour to Portugal not because of any football-related thing, but because his partner is currently pregnant. Hopefully everything's okay with her. We've got stories now coming out that Spurs' camp expected Heung-min Son to leave the football club. However, all things have changed because there could be a penalty if Spurs don't compete in Asia or South Korea with Heung-min Son playing. And now there are talks that he might go at the end of this transfer window. There are talks he might go in January. Savva, I'm going to ask you, what are we doing here?
I tell you what, it's Spursy, isn't it? It's very Spursy, whether it's our fault or not. I mean, guys, girls, welcome to the chat. Do you know what? More and more, every time I sit down, I think, right, I've got an hour. I've got an hour to myself. I sit down, and then I get a message that goes, have you seen this? And you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, okay. In the last 3 hours, Perchy, we've had this. Mark Guehi, right? We'll talk about it properly in a minute. We've had Mark Guehi links again. Spurs want to reignite their interest, but Liverpool are still favourites, you think? We've had Mark Guehi, Zabarnyi, seen more reports about him in the last couple of hours. We've had the news about Nottingham Forest are now refusing any communications with Tottenham. We'll talk about all of this. Don't worry. We'll talk about all of this. Nottingham Forest are refusing all communications with Tottenham Hotspur. There's reports that if Tottenham were to sell Son before we play in Seoul, that we would lose 75% of our revenue that was agreed for that tour. Sometimes I don't know, Perchy, if we're a football club or this is EastEnders, isn't it? Like it's all the drama, but without the good bits at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, we just need to know who dies at the end of it. Really, I mean that's normal. We're kind of just at this stage of
probably me. Don't worry.
We have all the drama, but we mentioned it just before we went live, and I went, look at other football clubs. There's all things going on. Look at Liverpool, right? Liverpool. Ekatiké's coming through the door. They signed Frimpong. They signed Wirtz. They're looking to lose Diaz and replace him with Rodrigo. And you go, that's the entertainment, the drama we want. We want to be going crazy. But, I mean, we're hearing links again that we're linked with Conor Gallagher. And you're like, God, like, what? It's just...
I wouldn't mind that link if we just get it done. Like, if I wake up tomorrow and they say Conor Gallagher is signing for Spurs, cool, go for it.
No, but I think it's like we're linked with people for the sake of being linked with people now. It's like, let's just pick a player that plays in midfield and we're linking to Tottenham because we've got two centre halves we've been linked with, 70 mil, 60 mil centre halves. Whilst all the talk about Romero is going to stay, you're like, well, really? Is it the case? Why are we trying to bring in another 60 mil centre halves we're linked with? It's crazy, man. But we're like that annoying one in the transfer window where we don't really do anything, but we're always. Liverpool heavily linked with Guehi. Tottenham are also interested. PSG heavily linked with Zabarnyi. Tottenham are also monitoring. Like, we're that kind of team that they use.
So we're the bridesmaid. We're the bridesmaid. We're never the bride.
They use Tottenham to bolster their transfer news. It's amazing.
It's utterly crazy, isn't it? By the way, everybody, you know the rules. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. We're getting towards 20,000, but in the last sort of day or two, it's all taken a bit like Spurs' transfer window. It's kind of grind to a halt. But there are Already 275 of you in here and only 46 likes, which is pitiful. Let's start as we mean to go on. Wayne Holland, thank you very much for the super sticker. Much love, Wayne. Our favourite Leicester City fan. And thank you for getting relegated last year. You kept us in the Premier League. Thank you very much, Wayne. Really appreciate you. Eddie Bennett, big up to you, has said Forest need a reality check. Well, maybe they do. Maybe, though, they've got all the cards. Who knows? We'll talk about that in a minute, Eddie, because we'll bring up what's been said by Rob Dorset of Sky Sports News. And we'll come back to that. So thank you very much to you, Eddie. And Daniel Field, of course, chucking in the super sticker. Big up to you, my friend. Really appreciative of that. Big up to absolutely everyone in the chat. There's too many of you to say hello to. So just take it that I've said hello to all of you and blown a big kiss. And you can take those on your cheek. Do you want to start with, do we want to start with Guehi? Do we want to start with Son? Do we want to start with Zabarnyi? Or do we want to start with Morgan Gibbs-White?
Let's start with Gibbs-White just so we can get it over and done with. Because I feel like in every Spurs conversation, it doesn't matter what YouTuber you are, if you've got 100 subs or 100,000 subs, it feels like the only thing people are talking about is this whole Gibbs-White thing. Let's get it out of the way so we can move forward.
Okay. So let's have a look at this then. So I've nicked this off of the Spurs Watch. Thank you very much. Big up. Please go and subscribe to them. It's a nice, simple one, Perchy. I think everyone can see this screen, right? Yes. I think everyone can see the screen. Where, and I won't keep this up long, where it says Nottingham Forest bosses have shut down lines of communication with Tottenham over Morgan Gibbs-White. So, Perchy, 10 days ago, we got the here we go. 10 days ago. Here we go. 10 days later, according to Sky Sports News, Nottingham Forest have shut down all communications. My first question to you, if this is true, surely now we walk away and actually go and look at different options. Surely, don't we?
Well, it depends, right? I mean, that is very open. That's very open to interpretation, right?
Of course.
Maybe Forest have shut down talks because actually it's now not being dealt with, Spurs and Forest, right? That you can interpret anything like that. That maybe that actually this has gone further and it's gone to the FA, or if it's gone to the courts or something like. So maybe that you could easily interpret what he's saying as, that Forest aren't going to deal with it with that thing anymore. Maybe it's because of that. Look, it's a weird one, right? Because I'm in two minds, and you know my thoughts on this. We've spoken about this before. Out of principle, if Spurs let this go, does this not set the worst precedent for the Premier League and other football teams? That there's a release clause on the table, Spurs have activated it, no matter whatever the means are, Spurs have activated it. Forget about all the NDA crap and all that. Spurs have activated a release clause in a contract, right? If we walk away, does that not tell every football club in this country to go, cool, just kick up a fuss. Kick up a fuss and you'll keep what you want.
Yeah.
For me, I get it why people want to move on. I get it. But on this conversation, I sit and go, for the sake of the reputation of contractual obligation, because in theory, right, I'll give you another example of this. If this is contracted in his contract, what's to say that Forest go, do you know what, we're not going to pay you your 80 grand a week, we're going to pay you 50 grand a week. But it's in my contract. It doesn't matter, whatever. Like, at what position is contractual obligation setting a precedent in any sort of capacity? And I'll leave it to the floor to everyone to debate that one.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Like, listen, as a content creator, I don't mind admitting, I said to you 10 days ago when this happened, it's like, oh, this is quite good for me as a content creator. We're going to get some, yeah, you're all good. We're going to get some content out of this. But as a Spurs fan, I'm now really bored of it. I'm now super, super, super bored of this. Surely, if we're not going to get him, surely walk away now. Surely try and get something. I'm not saying they're not, but we haven't heard of this. Now, this kind of piggybacks onto a lot of people were saying, oh, don't worry, get Xavi Simons. I always said, if we try and go for Xavi Simons, one of the bigger clubs will beat us to him, right? I always get told, no, that's not true. You've seen that today he's in talks with Chelsea, right? You've seen that Xavi Simons is in talk with Chelsea. He's going to Chelsea, right? Can we all agree that they will find a way to get a deal done?
Xavi Simons, yeah. That has Chelsea written all over.
But what are we going to do? Where's our Gibbs-White alternative? Surely 10 days ago, when all this started happening, the first thing you would say is, right, we're going to work on it, but what's the alternative? Who else was on the list?
Good point, right? And the fact that we've not got any rumors of that, right? Is that and again, I'm literally playing devil's advocate. And in this conversation here, maybe look, the fact that there hasn't been any talk on other players Spurs are linked with, could that not be that Spurs think very confidently that this will get done? And look, I don't know the answer, but the fact that we're not even hearing news of Spurs have stepped away from Gibbs-White because of their linking with, I don't know, Jack Grealish. I'll just use him as an example.
Yeah.
We're not hearing any of that. So I'm only taking it from what I'm reading on that as Spurs must feel confident that they've done nothing wrong and that Morgan Gibbs-White will play for Tottenham. I can only imagine. I'm just saying. That's all I'm thinking on it.
Yeah, but by the way, I've seen a lot of people in the chat. I genuinely, we have these conversations every week saying, if he was that bothered, he'd hand in a transfer request. I still don't think people understand that that's not going to change anything between the communications between Nottingham Forest and Tottenham Hotspur. Let me give you the scenario. There's two scenarios here. One is that Spurs are going to get Gibbs-White at the release clause fee if the Premier League step in, which apparently they are, right?
And the FA, yeah.
Right. So if they step in and go, Spurs have done nothing wrong, sorry, he's got to go, done. The other thing here is they go, no, you did do something wrong. So Forest have the right to negotiate whatever fee they want because that release clause is now dead, right? Morgan Gibbs-White can hand in a transfer request. Nottingham Forest will go, okay, that's fine. We still want 75, 80 million from Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah. And this was the conversation I had with Danny the other day about when Harry Kane didn't hand in a transfer request. You can hand in the transfer request. If you've not got a buyer, what are you doing? Now, you've also got to look at it, right? That right now his wife is heavily pregnant. His missus is heavily pregnant. I just don't think it's really as simple when people go, oh, if he cared, he'd hand in a transfer request. It's not that simple, is it?
I'll be honest. I think, and I'll say this now, I think Gibbs-White is doing the right thing, by the way. I think he is acting the professional one here. The problem is everyone thinks it's so blasé. Oh, just don't turn up. It doesn't work like that. At the moment, Gibbs-White is a football player. This has nothing on the bearing of him here. He's going, this is between his agent and the two football clubs. He will go, at the moment, I'm contracted to Forest. I turn up for training at Forest. What if they sort out all this? He would have had the conversation with his players, his teammates and stuff going, look, I don't know what's going on. They're having to sort this out X, Y, and Z, right? When people just go, oh, come on, let's not do that. It's not true at all. He's a very good player. But this is where it is people just think all of a sudden that players will just go, oh, well, just don't turn up. It don't work like that. This is what does Morgan Gibbs-White achieve by doing that? Because what you've got to remember for Gibbs-White, right, guys, forget us as Tottenham fans. Gibbs-White has to think, one, if this doesn't go through, I have to go back to my teammates whilst handing in a transfer request and have to apologise and go, guys, look, this is what's happened. So I think what people don't realise, it's the alternative, right, of it. They just think, oh, just don't turn up. Don't turn up and then it'll be fine. Well, no, it don't work like that, right? And I think people have to be really, really sensible with it. It's very easy for us as football fans to go, just don't turn up, right?
Yeah, it's like this where you know when you're saying, isn't it down to the player where he wants to go? Only if the deal's struck. So
Yeah,
as I
agreed.
just said there, if the Premier League agree that Spurs haven't done anything wrong, then definitely it's down to Gibbs-White to come to
Yes, that's
Spurs.
a different conversation, right?
If Forest say we want 80 million, and if the Premier League say the release clause is null and void, Spurs have been in the wrong. Nottingham Forest have got every right to turn around and say we want 80. We want 90, right? So at that point, it's nothing to do with Morgan Gibbs-White. At that point, the Forest can say to him, you'll go there. Let's just see if they cough up for you. And unfortunately, that's it. That's it. By the way, people saying I said the same thing about Chelsea with Kudus. The thing is, Chelsea never bid for Kudus. That's the point. I said if Chelsea want a player and bid for him, I'll say it. I don't think we get them before there. Yeah. I feel like I have this conversation every day. People don't understand the difference between being interested in a player and bidding. Like there's a massive difference. But look, I'm just a bit bored of it all now. I'm just really bored of this Gibbs-White situation. And unfortunately, what's making the Gibbs-White situation highlighted more than anything is that nothing else is happening. Like I think that's the biggest thing for Spurs fans right now is that we can't say, like Arsenal fans, let's not use them. Let's use Liverpool. Liverpool, at the moment, it's like, is this player signing? We're not sure, but it doesn't matter. We've had another 4 or 5 deals over here. We've just got Kudus through the door, and we're all sitting here going, we're all scratching our heads, aren't we? Going, what the...
Look, I think the key bit here is, right, is there's got to be a deadline, right? I heard people saying that there's no deadline with what the FA and the Premier League are going to do. There's got to be, right? There is no way that there's not a deadline for something like this because,
of course,
the players got they can't expect not just the player, and they've got both football clubs have to act accordingly, right? Forest, if they're going to sell Gibbs-White, have to buy a replacement. And whoa, that was an immense bolt of lightning that just...
Yeah, I've just had massive thunder here as well,
just that lit
you all
up
right?
Was what? Huh?
Are you okay? Are you scared or you okay?
No, it wasn't. It's because it's so dark, and then it just like a flash of light. It was like, gosh, am I seeing... I thought Gibbs-White was about to arrive. No, but my point but do you know what makes me think, Savva, and this is just based on what we're hearing rumor-wise, that I think it will get done? What are 2 things in the media that are happening at the moment? Spurs aren't linked with any real other attacking midfielder, wingers, whatever you want to call Gibbs-White, midfielders. And Forest are linked with a lot. Now, that could just be complete and utter... Perchy's picked this news and made it into something.
Of course, yeah.
But there's always I always say smoke without fire, right? The fact that Forest are heavily linked with players like Jacob Ramsey, and there was another midfielder, someone's going to remind me, they're linked with another midfielder as well.
Forest have been linked with Wissa. Forest have been linked with
it was Ramsey and McAtee, yes, that's what I was thinking of. McAtee.
Forest have been linked with Elliott. Forest have been linked with. There's another winger who's the winger they're in talks with?
Can't remember now.
Someone to replace Alanga. What's his face? Why can't I think of his name? It'll come to me in a minute. I'll get there in a minute. It'll come to me.
But my point is the fact that they're linked heavily with other midfielders and we're not, tells me that I think Forest know that this is going to happen, and Tottenham probably know it's going to happen as well. Now, if it doesn't happen, Tottenham have a lot of answering for. That's the difference, right? If Morgan Gibbs-White isn't a Tottenham player by the start of the season, Spurs as a football club have a lot of answering to do, but going, cool, if we're this messed up, why have we not gotten a replacement? We need someone in now. So, that's the difference thing for me. I think Premier League and FA, I've heard, I've stepped in. It's not come out from anywhere big. But I think a lot of news people aren't talking about it because it's going very legal, and people don't want to be they don't want to get caught up in all that. I think that's why I think you're not hearing a lot of news. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah,
yes. Amari Hutchinson they're linked with as well. That's the other winger they're linked with.
Yeah, there's someone that they're linked with from abroad, and I can't think of his name. Aren't they?
Ndoye? Is it Ndoye or something?
Ndoye, but Bologna.
Yes.
Bologna or Genoa,
yes.
which is Bologna. Yeah.
Bologna, yeah.
Yeah, look, I just think from my point of view, and we'll draw a close under it now for this show for Morgan Gibbs-White. But listen, I really like him. I think he's a top player. I do. I'd love to see him in midfield, but he's not the only midfielder out there in world football. And the one thing I said to you 10 days ago is I hope that we don't just spend all our time now embroiled in this. And I'm not saying we are, but the optics, again, what we can see as fans very much looks like nothing else is going on. Now, I'm not saying it's not, because we're going to move on to some other links, but it's just got boring now. It's just got boring.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What do you say? Listen, big up to each and every one of you. Big up to each and every one of you. By the way, as I said to you guys, just when people are going, oh, if Gibbs-White really wanted the movie, do X, Y, and Z, it's a very tough place. This isn't a normal transfer situation, guys. Yes. This has gone down. Once they mention legal, this is now Gibbs-White can hand in a transfer request. What does some of you think it will do?
Nothing.
What will it do at this stage?
And also, he can't just boycott, by the way. This isn't a boycotting conversation, right? He's got to be very, very... I'll be honest, Gibbs-White, for me, has been advised very well. He's been advised very, very well and told, just carry on, business as usual. I'll get this sorted in the background.
Yeah. Well, look, let's... I'll tell you what, let's quickly have a look and see what Plettenberg said about... lots of them have said it today, by the way, about Xavi Simons. I've always thought he's going to end up at a big club. He's one of the ones. I think there's certain players I think, yes, Spurs could challenge for. And then there's other players where I think, nah. And you've seen here that Plettenberg has said in the last 20 minutes, further talks between Chelsea and Xavi Simons' camp are taking place. Now, guys, what I want this to show as well is it goes to show that it is not illegal to speak to a player's representatives before you bid. For everyone saying, oh, Spurs approached, that wasn't the issue with Spurs and Morgan Gibbs-White. It was the release clause knowledge, the secret knowledge. So further talks between Chelsea and Xavi Simons' camp are taking place this evening. Chelsea are concretely in and are working on reaching a verbal agreement. I give it 48 hours. Leipzig are ready to sell him. RB want at least 70 million euros all in, while Chelsea want to pay less. If a move to Chelsea does not work out, other teams are waiting in the wings. Now, you know when you said bridesmaid, not bride, I reckon we're one of the ones in the wings, don't you? I reckon we're one of the ones in the wings.
Possibly, yeah. No, I don't see why it wouldn't be. I think he's a very, very good player. I think Chelsea will be looking going price tag wise. They'll probably put the price tag at the same price tag as Mohamed Kudus. I think they'll look at that as a sort of, well, Spurs got 55 mil, which is about 60 million euros for Kudus. So they'll be sort of in their mind thinking around that sort of price tag. But you know what Chelsea are like, right? They'll find a way and then they'll get a deal for that will be about 65 million euros and it will get a deal done. He has the hallmarks of a Chelsea player, of a 2025 Chelsea football player. Xavi Simons ticks a lot of the boxes, right? He's young. He's very, very highly rated. He's talented. We were linked with him, weren't we? Before we went to Leipzig, we were heavily linked with him before. And I kind of said, when we didn't get him at that moment, I went, I don't see us getting him again. His next step with Leipzig and Tottenham are in, I would say, a sideways move. Not in a rude way, but it is that we're relatively on the same capacity of an RB Leipzig. He'll be looking at Chelsea. Do you know who I wouldn't be shocked to be in the conversation? Man United, maybe. They're signing attackers if they can get rid of a few more. I think you'll see a few more names in the sort of boat for Xavi Simons. And the fact is Leipzig are willing to sell, right? They're looking, they want the money. And you know what Leipzig will do, right? We all know what Leipzig will do. They'll pluck a couple of 20 million, a few 20 million pound decent attacking players that will go, yeah, we'll have him in about 3 years at 100 mil price tags.
Yeah.
You know what
They're
I mean?
superb at it. Them
Leipzig are the German Brighton, aren't they? They've got that level.
Yeah. There's so many clubs that are very good at it. Listen, I'd love Xavi Simons. I've got a feeling we've talked to their camp. I do. I've got a feeling he's someone we'd like. I just got a feeling that when this is it. I know we hate to admit it, but when Chelsea are in, and I've said this before. People always say to me, yeah, but if we had gone earlier, Chelsea could still at any time just go, what's that? Boom.
And I know we're going to talk about Son a bit later, but this is one of the things about why the whole Son stuff really irritates me. Because someone like Xavi Simons, if you go, look, do you know what? Son's leaving us now. Simons is, boom, give him the number 7. You're a talent. You're the future. The problem is when you've got players like Son, and I watched him on the weekend and was very, very underwhelmed to a player that looked like he weren't ready at all. But I will talk about him later. But that's the sort of player you go, Son's going for 30, 40 million pounds to whoever club gets him. And we go, we're going to spend a bit more money. We're going to bring in Xavi Simons because he's our future. Give him the number 7. And you go on, son. Show us what you've got. As I said, the problem is because we don't get rid of players. It makes, because we can't get rid of, I think, do you know what? It's one of our biggest problems, right? Letting players go. We can't get rid of players. So we're not attractive on the level of, well, hang on a minute. You've got 4 or 5 players in my position. I want to be competing, but I don't want to be competing with Son. I want to be your guy. And I think Spurs have to be really, really careful in the fact that we can't offload. It's a big problem.
It's a huge problem that we can't offload players. And let's talk about Son. Let's move on to Son.
Yeah, let's break into it.
Also, if there is any other breaking news on X from any of the people, let me know, guys, and I'll bring it up. But please make it real. Otherwise, it's just silly.
Don't do fake stories.
Look, we've got it. Tottenham would miss out on as much as 75% of their fee for playing in Seoul if Son is not part of the touring squad. It is believed the fee would have been halved were he to travel but not play in the game. Sources believe the key player clause meant that it was virtually impossible for Tottenham to even consider selling Son before the tour to Asia and the game in South Korea. That's from Matt Law. Now, the bit that makes me laugh about this, Perchy, is the key player clause, right? How much money are Tottenham Hotspur getting for it to be such a waste of time to not sell Son before that game?
Well, it almost, I mean, here's a question though, right? Do you know what? With things like this coming up, it makes all the story why we extended his contract now. Because he was out of contract, weren't he?
Yeah,
And we extended him around the... Do you know what? This is the beauty of looking back. When did we extend his contract? Very similar times when the pre-season stuff got mentioned as well, didn't it? Now, you know my thoughts on this. I think it's ridiculous, right? No player should distinguish our pre-season. We didn't even do that with Harry Kane, by the way. Like, I know Harry Kane did play pre-season, but like, there's none of this crap about this. It's just, and I don't want this to sound disrespectful, and I hope people don't understand what I'm saying. I'm at the stage where I can't wait for Son to go now. I think he's been an incredible servant to this football club, and everything that he's offered and brought to us. He did bring us a trophy. Whatever people think about it, he did do that. I'm now at the stage that this whole Son debacle, it's just becoming like, I don't want our pre-seasons determined if Heung-min Son's our football player or not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, why can't we have a pre-season where we go, the whole point of our pre-season is so we're ready for the season. It's all just become, when they've commercialized pre-season now, it's become ridiculous. And it has, and we know it has. And normally we're like, it is what it is, right? But we literally have commercialized pre-season. It's become ridiculous.
Yeah, I find it crazy that that our club is going to be conducting its transfer business and pre-seasons based around one player.
It's ridiculous.
However, it's not shocking, is it? It's not surprising. This is what Tottenham do. This is why. Look, I think Son's been great. Son's been great. If he stays, he stays. But for me, I think you're right. Get some new guard in. Get the new guard in. Get going. Go and shower Xavi Simons at the beginning of the window. Say, listen, Son's leaving. We need a talisman. We need a main man. We need a go-to guy. Son is that guy right now. We want you to be that guy. We don't do that. We'll keep him again and again. Next year, when he goes on a free, everyone will go, I can't believe he's gone on a free. Well, this is the time to sell him then. Yeah. This is the time to sell him. So I just think that when you've got that going on, Perchy, then the Morgan Gibbs-White situation, it's almost like none of these situations are now football related, are they?
Of course they're not.
Sons is marketing. Gibbs-White is legal. It's like, what's happening on the football side of things? Where's the football players?
I just find it winds me up. I think there's something winds me up more because it's almost at the stage of let's be fair with it. And without people being, again, I'm not being disrespectful here. Son is getting a place in his team because he's South Korean. Let's be fair with it, right? If Heung-min Son was English, he'd have been sold by now. Am I wrong? If Son was from any other nation, no, he's literally now only in our team because he's South Korean. And again, and I can't remember the saying, but it's almost like we're at a stage where Son's now going to become the villain after being the hero. No one's blaming Son. It's just he's at a position where
it's stupid comment. I just saw that and went, "What? How did you get that out of what we've said?"
No, look, Son deserves a hero's exit of this football club. Whatever people's thoughts on him, he should be left and be allowed to whatever after. If we give him a ambassadorial role after the club, or whatever, right? But right now, footballing wise, he's not good enough at this football club anymore. As I said, it's just a bit weird. And I think the fact is, do you know what? I think we are going to sell him after pre-season. Everything just feels like it in the sense of he doesn't look that bothered.
I'll be well pissed off.
If we do, agreed.
Not because he's gone, but because that's what we kept him for. Rather than sell at the beginning of the summer and build, we would have prioritized making cash over the good of the team. And I get it. I get that you need money to come in. I get it. But look, I think the big thing was I just saw a comment that I thought was brilliant. Let me see if I can find it again from my mate Dylan. Where is it? Dylan. I mean, this is the greatest comment of the day, isn't it? It's simple but effective. Evening, Savva Perchy. Big up to you, mate. AFC, LFC, CFC. Chuck Man City in there as well, mate. All signing at least 4 to 5 players already. They finished first, second, and fourth, respectively. We finished 17th and have done so little. And I think, isn't that the problem, Perchy, that the bigger clubs that have already got the good squads, they're the ones going, we're not satisfied with this. We want to go again and again and again. And we're sitting here going, we have one player in ready for, at the moment, we've got one new player in for our tour.
Well, we're basically, we're 1 in, 1 out, really. Let's be fair, we're 1 in, 1 out. And I say we could count 2 out if we're counting Keeley. I don't really count him. But Aleo Veliz is the only one we've got rid of on loan. And we brought 1 in. We've not done any, like, the thing is, do you know what those other clubs are doing, though? Getting rid of players. Chelsea got rid of Madueke. Do you know what I mean? Like, Chelsea got rid of numbers of players and are comfortable to do that.
Look at the money they get for them, though. Mate, like, they've got 55 for Madueke. They've just got 25 million for a goalkeeper that don't even play for them. Was it Petrovic?
Petrovic, 25 mil. They got 5 mil for Kepa. They got
that's 80.
They're about to get 40 for Vega, who's made 7 appearances for them.
So 120 million from players that aren't their key go-to guys.
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? Chelsea aren't. Do you know what? I wish we had that mentality with Chelsea, because Chelsea fans don't get absolved with players. Fans, they don't give a shit, right? They don't care. Chelsea fans do not care. We don't care if you are XYZ. If the money's good enough, you're going because we can get better, or we will build better and get more for a player. And you know when everyone said about, do you remember me and you were streaming a while back, mate? Remember when Chelsea started going crazy and buying everyone, and everyone's going, see, they're clueless, they're all over the shop, they're just buying everyone, blah, blah, blah. There's no strategy. Now look at the strategy, because they're comfortable getting these players out of the door now, aren't they? Everyone was going, they haven't got a clue. These new owners are all over the shop. Now look, they're spending 10 million quid on XYZ player, selling him for 40. Petrovic, they bought him for about 5 million. They're getting, what did I say? You say it was 30 mil, 25 mil? So I just think we're so, and now we have fans that don't even want us, but we have fans that don't even want us to get rid of Heung-min Son. Like, he's been in this football club for donkey's years.
But their fans and the way they act as a club are on one page. And I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Yeah.
We're also on one page. But our owners have almost made it acceptable that our fans just go, oh, wouldn't sell him. You look at any player. Right now, if someone came in and went, it's 50 million, Brennan Johnson, I'm snapping their hand off.
Oh,
right?
100%.
We'd have fans that would go, Johnson again, ole.
You can't. He scored a goal in the final. Yeah.
Right. Now, I could have said that about Solanke, about anyone.
Yeah, of course.
When you look at Chelsea, you're right about it, because everyone criticised them. Look at their owners. Look how many of these young players they bought in and they're shifting on for money. Look, right now, this is what Romero said. Now, I think this ties in very nicely to what you've just said about Vega. Fabrizio Romano said this: Xavi Simons has opened the door to a Chelsea move after direct contact with his camp. Again, camp, not club. Yeah? His camp.
Yep.
Chelsea have opened talks with his camp. Club-to-club talks will start from Tuesday, as Chelsea, Leipzig would. So tomorrow. So the actual proper conversation starts tomorrow. And when the Chelsea mess about? For CFC, the deal depends on outgoings. We'll come back to that. Arsenal remain keen, but Gyökeres and outgoings priority. Now, I guarantee this deal is done within a day of Vega signing for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, of course.
Because they'll get that 40 million through the door and go, boom.
Exactly.
Chelsea are bloody good in the market. They are. We knock them. We cuss them. Oh, we hate them. I'll be honest. I'm jealous. I'm so I don't even know how many they've got. I'm going to go to their transfer market. I'm going to go.
Yeah, look. Trust me. Look at their transfer market. It's brilliant, right? And it's everything. Everyone fans criticize Chelsea all the time, and because they're Chelsea, we can't be nice and say good things because we're not allowed, supposedly. But Chelsea do everything that we would love to do. But notice, we get 1 million for our kids. They get 40 million for their kids. Notice that difference. We get 1 million for Josh Keeley. They get 25 million for Petrovic. Like,
so this summer, right?
You're not sharing it, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. I'm just removing this one. So this summer, already, Chelsea have made 121 million euros. Right? 121 million euros. They haven't finished. They haven't even sold Vega yet. That'll probably be another 40. I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 or 3 more go.
Look at that, though. But look at that. Look at who they've let go, by the way. Just look at that 1 second. Madueke made money. Petrovic made money. Amagu made money. Humphreys. They got 14 million euros, which is about 12 million pounds for Bashir Humphreys, who never played and kicked a ball for Chelsea. Kepa, 6 mil. Yeah, they didn't make a profit on him, but he's been at the club for about a decade. Bettinelli. They got money for Bettinelli, by the way. Who's about 38. This is crazy.
So let's have a look. So Renato Vega, by the way, million euros they bought him for, and they're looking
getting
at selling him to
40
Atletico
for
for
40.
40 million.
This is crazy.
Like, look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They've wasted money. Of course they have. But do you know what I give to them? Is they keep going. What we do, look how many of our fans say things like, oh, but I don't want to make another Ndombele mistake. What?
Mate, you know, just to go back to the Renato Vega thing, do you know what? They've made more than that deal because they got 4 million from Juventus when he went on loan last season. They got a 4 million loan thing for him. Now they're selling him into Atletico Madrid for 40. So they basically made 30 million euros in 12 months, by the way, on one player. That's one football player they've made 30 million euros on.
It's crazy. Listen, I don't want to sit here and make it the Chelsea show, but they're just, we can't get rid of anyone.
Mate, no one wants to go anywhere.
So far, if I'm not wrong, this window, I'll tell you what, should we move to Tottenham's transfer market? Right? This will be good depressing fun for everyone. So if we go to Tottenham's transfer market, Tottenham Hotspur, 1 second, bear with me, hold the line, callers. Where is it? Why can't I find? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. Okay, Tottenham, all transfers.
Here we go. This will be fun.
Right. So, Tottenham Hotspur, let me remove that comment. Can you all see that? Is it too small?
I think that's good enough for me. If anyone else in the chat.
So let's have a look at this, shall we? So you've got Spurs so far this window apparently have spent 140 million euros. Now, obviously, they're putting in the money that we've had to pay for Takai, for Vuskovic, Danso, Tel, and Kudus. Have a look at what we've recouped. Now, you can add 1 million onto that for...
Yes.
1 million from Josh Keeley. So Spurs have made 14.5 million euros, which is what, 10 million, 11 million?
Yeah, about 11 million quid.
Right. So although we saw that Chelsea have spent something like 220 million euros, they've made 120 million euros back. Sorry, can you bear with me 1 second? Sorry, can you talk for a second?
Yeah, look, I think what Savva was trying to get at, look, Spurs we don't get rid of players. And the problem is, I think, do you know what the biggest part of it was? We have an issue getting rid of players. We have a sentimental fan base that I feel like the club. I just before I carry on before you. What do we do? Just carry on moaning? We're not moaning. We're having a conversation, my friend, about like. Do you want to? Okay, how about this? I'm not going to moan. We've been brilliant at the moment. Biscuit chicken. What a name, by the way. Can you get like a good AI image of a biscuit chicken as your picture? If you're going to do it, that'd be good. If you do it properly, mate. That's the main thing. But look, the point I'm trying to make here is I think what we're trying to make here is look at everyone else. Chelsea happy to sell Madueke. They've only just got him. Let's use Madueke to Brennan Johnson, right? They signed a similar sort of price tag, give or take, maybe not as much. If we went, we're going to sell Brennan Johnson. He's been here what, 2 years now? 2 years? Am I right? It is 2 years, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's been here 2 years. Cool. We're going to offload. Cool. But we don't. Look at what we're so good at buying high and then not managing to offload.
Well, but if you have a look, Perchy, right? So, I mean, that's just this summer so far,
sure,
right? So Spurs so far have spent 127 million euros. We're 127 million euros in the red, if you will, for this window. Yeah. But now let's look at last summer to show you this. This isn't an anomaly. Last summer, look how much we spent. We spent 185 million euros and recouped 55.
Yep.
Right. Now, the year before, we recouped 120. Right.
95 of it was Kane.
Because 95 was Kane. We can't sell players.
Mate,
right. And this is the problem. whenever you suggest selling a player, we get told, oh no, he'll come good under him. He'll come. Who have we kept that's come good and we've sold for money? Right. And when you look, right, let's have a look at these signings. So I'm going to look at, there's 5 signings here, right? Plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 there. I'm not, and by the way, so there's 11 all in. I've not included Tell because he's in both, right? Of these 11 signings, right, how many of them are first team starters that we all go, yeah, really want him in the 11? So from those 5, kudos, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Kudos.
1, right? 1.
What's in the one below? Let's have a look.
From these 6 players, Solanke is 2 and Bergvall possibly 3. Look at the rest. Gray, Odeberg, Kinski, Yang, right? So from 11 players, you've got 2 definites in Solanke, who a lot of fans want replaced anyway, and Solanke and Kudos, who's only just signed. Bergvall shouldn't. Let's be brutally honest.
Yeah,
Bergvall
shouldn't be. Bergvall got it by default because he actually had he was relatively okay last season. That he weren't in there for that reason, right?
So from those 11 players, right? From those last 11 signings, 2/3 of them are actual first team starters. And the cost for those players, let me just make sure I get this right, is 140 million plus 185 million. So if I'm going to do 140, so what's that? 320 million?
About 325 million overall, I think, on both of them.
So let's have a look then, shall we? Here we go. 1 second. 320 million euros in pounds. 277 million pounds spent. And we've got 2/3 starters if you include the 19-year-old.
Yeah, it's painful. It's bad, isn't it?
But that's
bad will be in the market.
And in that time, we've made, what was it, 55 plus 13, so that's 68 million. 68 million euros in pounds. So 58 million pounds we've received while spending 277. We can't sell footballers. This is a big problem.
But you know, when I hear all the time about us not spending in the market and we're rubbish, we Daniel Levy needs to spend more and stuff. Our biggest issue isn't transfer spend, and I stand by this. We spend money, but the problem what we can't afford to do, and it is slowly going to catch up on us even more, and it is catching up on us now, is that we can't recoup money. There's only so far. And you know, when everyone talks about, oh, Chelsea are happy to spend money and look at Chelsea's owners, blah, blah. Yeah, because what they do is they buy for long term. They buy a load of youngsters, train them, let them go out on loan and go, cool, we'll sell them. Now, I'll flip it. Now, let's see if Spurs got an offer for Bergvall, Moore, Gray, Yang, Kinski.
We wouldn't want to sell them.
There's 5 youngsters there. If we got offered, let's just say, people in the chat will tell me the answer here because I know how our Spurs. Let's just say we got offered 50 mil for Bergvall and 40 mil for Moore. Imagine the outrage our fan base would do if we sold both those players and got 90 million quid for them. Just put it that way.
Because we're always talking about the what if. But what if he becomes amazing? But what if he...
Yeah.
Listen, let's be fair. I'll call out my man Lubo on this. Me and Lubo have been debating all year. He's been telling me all year the Keeleys and the Donnellys and all these, they're the best group of youngsters coming through. We just sold Keeley for £1 million to League One.
Says it all, right?
Right. It says it all in terms of the caliber of team that wanted him and that we would accept £1 million.
But this is my point, right? And I hear all this, oh my God, he's better. Well, if he was better, why haven't even a club in the Championship gone, he's available for £1 million? Why are we not getting him? He's available for £1 million. But they've gone, nah, what's the point? So he can't have been as good as everyone's telling me he was. Now, Jamie Donnelly's another one you brought up. Let's just say, for argument's sake, a bid from West Brom, or use West Brom, went, we'll offer you 15 million quid for Jamie Donnelly. Our fan base would have a meltdown. But every other football club will do it. If Chelsea will sell Bashir Humphreys, they just sold him for 12 million quid to Burnley. There's no Chelsea fans sitting there going, oh, but why are we getting rid of him? He could have come good, blah, blah. Nah, goodbye. We're getting 12 million quid for you. We need money here. And this is where at the moment my worry is as a fan base, and it is as Tottenham, right? We've built this ideology that getting rid of players is almost like a sacrilege. Like, but everyone else seems to manage to do it. Man City aren't scared to sell youngsters, even if they come as good as Cole Palmer, right? There's loads of other. There's so many examples. Lavia, Palmer. There was loads of examples that Man City aren't. Well, Man City sold Lavia to Southampton, didn't they? But my point is, there's so many examples. Chelsea, they're not scared to sell youngsters. Liverpool aren't scared to sell youngsters. I mean, they sold what's the young lad's name they sold to the Austrian team? He played a few games. They got 15 million quid for him. Oh, I forgot him.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember. I forgot his name.
He played.
And so these are football clubs that aren't scared to sell youngsters. Everyone is. Like, but great point. Someone put in there. Carvalho signed him. Up and coming kid they signed from Fulham. Went, nah, cool. We'll get money. We'll sell him. We'll sell him straight away to Brentford. And I just think we're at the stage now where we need to start working out how we do business, because looking at the way we spend, because everyone talks and we don't spend enough money, mate. I hear this all the time. But how
we
can
spend
we?
a lot. We spend loads.
We spend a lot of money, but the problem is people want us to spend like this. Well, if you're going to spend like this, you need to start recouping money back, right? The boom verse, bang on, by the way. Rodgers, Palmer, Delap, Sancho, bang on. There you go.
But the difference is they're not worried about it, right? Like I the number of videos I saw last year, people going, "Oh, I bet City are gutted they haven't got Palmer." Really?
Really?
Like what? You mean the same City that just go out and buy a Rayan Cherki or a Marmouche or a Reinders? They've just gone and bought who's the young kid they bought? Is it Naipan?
Good kid in, by the way. Watch out for him. He's a good kid.
So, but you're right. Listen, look, we've got to get better, but let's move on. Let's move away from this. I'll do a couple of super chats. And by the way, been really tough crowd today, Perchy. Really tough crowd on the likes and subscribers. Really tough crowd.
Sub and like, do the job, man. Come on.
Xavi Simons stinks of another Yao Felix. Why? Based on what?
But do you know what though? Do you know what I love about comments like this? Let's just say for your argument, he does. Do you know what Chelsea will do? They'll get rid.
They'll move him on.
They'll move him on. If he does become like what you're saying, they get rid of him, right?
Yeah, Scott. As I said, I've Keeley going as of no significance to me at all. No significance. I wish the lad well. I hope he goes on to have a brilliant career, gets back to the Premier League. Brilliant. Him going is nowhere near the list of priorities at this football club that we need to sort out, is it? Do you know what I mean? I think we all agree on that, Scott. Again, Scarlett. Scarlett scored, didn't he, a goal last year against
Shakhtar,
somebody.
wasn't it? Shakhtar Donetsk, yeah.
So, whoever he scored against. No, that was pre-season. But he got one in, was it Elfsborg?
Yes, he did. He scored his first
and everyone
goal.
went, just needs a chance. And you're like, oh, come on. Like
Ellie was the one. Ellie's in the chat. She was the one going, you've just got to give Scarlett a chance. I mean, he can't score goals anywhere he plays at. He's
Oh, dearie me. Big up. Sorry, I'm miles behind on the chat, by the way. I'm absolutely miles behind. Look, and by the way, there's a long way to go in the window. There is a chance for something to happen, but I just can't believe like no outgoings at all. I'm not counting Keeley, who was at Leyton Orient. I'm not counting Valise, who was
players who were actually here last season. We can't get rid of, right?
Can't get rid of anyone.
I mean,
Can't get
do
rid
you
of
know
anyone.
the problem is do you know what is going to happen? The problem with as I say, you know my thoughts on this. This is because we offer very, very average players a lot of money. Whether what we think about, we offer loads and loads of money for players that aren't very good, and we can't get rid of players. And what ends up happening, our players, do you know what happens? And it happens a lot, and you'll notice it this season. It'll be the same. Players will leave later in the window when we're basically saying, cool, just take him off our hands now. Like, give us a couple of million quid and you can have Brian Hill. Give us X, Y, and Z and you can have insert player. We don't offload anyone where you go, okay, we're making a chunk of money. When was the last player? Take out Harry Kane where you go, wow, we made good money on him. Who?
No,
And we only made Harry because
we made what? 11, 12 million on Winks, was it? I think we made about 18 million on Skip, but these are academy
players, right?
Yeah. By the way, Wayne, no, I wouldn't, because I think the whole point is to make the squad stronger. Yeah. Like, I think the whole point is to make the squad stronger and not sell our better players, right? Not sell. Listen, if you sell Maddison, who's our only creative player, right? I now need to replace him and bring another one in because we still need more creativity. What we should do if we're a proper club is have Maddison and Gibbs-White.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Have Maddison and Simons, for example. I never understand these would you rather.
One in, one out. Because in theory, if it's 1 in, 1 out, you're basically going, we're still at the same position, right? I think keep it quite simple. They're on the same level, right? Quality wise. You get 1 in, 1 out. We're in the same. It's like balancing a ship, right? We're in the same place.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't ignore the managerial churn and low wages that the club pays affects our ability to attract the best talent. Well, we did this the other day. We went through the number of clubs that actually are buying better footballers than us that actually pay less wages than us. So that's not, again, this is thrown around very freely that we don't spend anything on wages, and it's not true.
The narrative of wages really needs to stop. I think me and you did this on stream, right? We counted 14 players in the Premier League who are on 150 grand more. 150 grand or more. 14. I think it'll be 15 now if you count Brian and Burmo. If you count Brian and Burmo now, I think it's 15 because I think he's on 100. He's on more than 150 grand a week. 15 players. So you're telling me that Tottenham can't offer anyone? I think it's a really, really lazy narrative. We're not. Our problem is we actually offer massive wages for very, very average football players. That's the difference, right? Brian Hill's on 90 grand a week. Now try and get him off that contract.
Yeah. By the way, so someone's put, how do you propose we remove players? Why not discuss about how we should go about it? Well, I think, okay, let's discuss that. I think first, at source, stop buying so many underwhelming footballers.
Agreed.
At source, stop buying Matisse Tell. Stop buying Felice. Stop buying Brian Hills. Stop buying yada, 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 yada. We just constantly do it. Odeberg's come through the door. And by the way, some of these I'm about to mention might come good. But my point is, most of them won't. You got Bergvall, Gray, Takai, Yang. You've got Vuskovic. You've got Brian Hill who's come in. You've got Brian Hill. I'm not thinking of God, where am I going with this? Sorry, we bought in on the wide positions. You bought in Johnson, Yang, Odeberg, right? Tell up front, Richarlison, Solanke, Papasar, Bergvall, Gray. Davis has signed another contract. You're bringing in Takai. You're bringing in all of these footballers, most of which that I've just mentioned aren't first team starters. Hence why they don't often get a move away. So for me, the first thing I would say, Perchy, is at source, stop buying volume and buy what you need. There would be the first thing I'd do about not needing to remove the players.
See, I've got no issue with us buying volume. And I'll tell you why. If we mould into what Chelsea do.
Sure.
The thing is, if we're buying volume, throw them out on loan, throw them anywhere, and then go and sell them in a year or 2 years' time and kind of quick flip them. Chelsea are like that Chelsea are like those people that go to the boot sale, find some good little gems, and then go straight on eBay and sell them on eBay, right? Go out there. I have no issues. My point is, if you're going to go and bring in Takai, Vuskovic, Bergval, all these kids that we're plucking from all across Europe and the world, cool. Now, if an offer comes in, we sell them. Quick flipping. But the problem, what we do, Savva, is we pick all these little players and everyone in our fan base goes, oh my God, they're going to be amazing for us. Well, they can't all be amazing.
Every one of them is going to be amazing for us.
They can't all be amazing. Or even if they are, because I know how our fan base become. Because if we sold Vuskovic, our fan base will have a meltdown. By the way, I thought it was brilliant against Reading. But if an offer came in, I'm not crying if an offer came in. If let's just say Atletico Madrid next season go, oh my God, we like Vuskovic. We want to offer 40 million quid, 50 million quid. Take it in a heartbeat. Cool. We bought him for 10 million. We've sold him for 50 in the space of 12 months. Happy days. But our fan base would go in meltdown. You can't get rid of someone like Vuskovic. He's brilliant. Do you see what? This is where we're at.
Yeah. Look, I think it was a great question, by the way, to ask to explain it. I think the difficulty as well is whoever's dealing with it for Chelsea is doing a fantastic job. Where are they plucking out these deals for Aguma, Renato Vega, Petkovic? Are you telling me no one at Spurs can find these deals out there for the Basumas, for the Brennan John? I don't. Whoever we need, whoever needs to go. We can't have somebody in our club plucking out these deals. Look, the problem is whatever we talk about, people have a pop at us in the chat, Perchy, but yet people don't understand. This all rolls into why we are where we are. This all rolls into it. We just showed our last 11 players, only 2 of them were proper senior first team signings. Solanke and Kudus. One who has played 45 minutes of football for us. One who has played 1 season. Bergval, for me, I still don't think should be I don't think should be the man that starts. I do think he's got a great future. That's where we are. That's what we're signing. Yeah. That's got to change. So for me, it's got to change. I just think it's crazy.
And we can't keep doing this, is what I mean. Because everyone will then go, oh, we're not spending money, we're not doing this. Well, we can't keep doing it until you're selling players, right? And yeah, look, another one. City, a great point. The Boomverse, a good point. Julian Alvarez. City had arguably one of the most up-and-coming young strikers on their books in Julian Alvarez. Went, cool, we'll sell. We'll sell. We got him for what, 15, 20 million quid? Cool, we'll get 80, 90 mil for him. We're not bothered. Like, now imagine Tottenham did. Listen, we need to start acting like proper football clubs. And we've almost come to this point where we think that having loads of players and not passing them on is acting like a big club when it's actually not. It's acting like a very, very irresponsible club.
No, look, I agree with you. I agree with you. Look, it's why we love Spurs. We get frustrated with them. We love them. We hate them all at the same time. We're frustrating. We're a very frustrating team. And at the moment, as I said, and we'll move on from this subject, but I think it's a good talking point. I think it's a really good talking point. That we do struggle to get guys out the door. When people lost their mind when we signed Valise, watch this kid. You know, when people lost their mind when we signed Brian Hill, watch this kid. No, we can't sell them. You watch. Most of the players that we need to get rid of will probably end up going on a loan with an option or obligation to buy next year.
Or their contract gets torn up or it's mutually terminated, right? Here's a question for everyone in the chat. I'll ask you this for you. By the way, big up my mate Biscuit Chickens saying he doesn't like me. Mate, you can't have watched this channel a long time, mate. I've been on here a very, very long time. I've been here a while, my friend. I'm like that annoying sock at the back of the sofa. It just won't go away. Look, I'll put this in the chat, guys. Everyone in the chat, right? How many players do Spurs sell in this window for more than 20 million quid? Seriously, how many players do we get more than 20 million quid for in this window? I'm intrigued to what people think.
One.
Yeah, I would say one.
I think actually it depends if we sell Son. There you go. It depends if Son or Romero leave. Those two will definitely be over 20 million. Anyone else, I don't see it unless it's a left field bid.
Maybe Basuma. Maybe Basuma.
1 year left.
Yeah, I think
maybe
on the cusp, right? On the cusp of 20 mil, I think.
Big up to Shotgun Licks. Said Savva, respectfully, you annoy me regularly. You annoy me too. Much love, my man. Thank you for the good work because I mauled Wolfie. It's amazing how many people tell me that I annoy them, but watching my show.
You've become like the good guy against Wolfie. Like everyone thinks you're the bad guy, but actually, when it's against Wolfie, you're the good guy.
Yeah, we do. I think it's the balance, Phil, isn't it? We need squad depth, but the problem is I don't want squad depth of average. That's the difference, isn't it? When you look at Chelsea's attacking options, let's assume Chelsea bring in Xavi Simons, right? Chelsea's attacking options at the moment look like Pedro, Delap, Neto, Cole Palmer, Xavi Simons, Nkunku. I'm missing one. I'm missing a few, actually.
Wait. Read him out again, what you said.
Yao Felix, who is still there.
Yeah.
I'm missing him.
Mark Guehi. Mark
Guehi as well. Yeah, he's another one. Look, the problem that we have, Phil, is I want squad depth, but no offense, I know a bit of banter aside, but I don't want my squad depth to be. I don't want squad depth of poor footballers.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't want Richarlison's coming off the bench. I don't want Scarlett's in the squad.
Yeah,
you know.
The thing is Spurs have got squad depth. We've just not got a very good depth in the sense of quality, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Let's move on. This is what was said earlier on. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was Matt Law. Let's see if I can find it. I think it was Matt Law, and here it is. This is an oldie but a goodie. So Tottenham Hotspur, all of our definitive links, i.e. from reputable sources, are all centre-backs, right? Don't take my word for it, right? In the last few weeks, we have been linked with, you can see again there, Tottenham retain their interest in Liverpool target Mark Guehi, plus the details of the key player clause, blah, blah, blah. So Matt Law said that. I think he said further down somewhere. Let me just double check. There was a whole bigger article about Matt Law. There was something else here. Anyway, basically, what he said was that Spurs still want Guehi, but that Liverpool are considered favourites to get him. I'm going to ask the obvious question. In the last week, we have been told that we have inquired. That doesn't mean we've bid. We've inquired about Da Vinci from Genoa. We've inquired about Zabarnyi. And we've inquired about Mark Guehi. Why are we so desperate to sign a centre-back?
Now, this is the beauty of the when I said to you about the striker merry-go-round before a few weeks ago with one going and it's all good, like it started with Ekatike and Isak and all this lot. I feel like this is like now the defender version of it. And now, if it's true and Tottenham have jumped into the conversation, it's going to be depending on two other players, right? Isn't it? Konate and Romero. Because if what's being talked about that that Real Madrid want to accelerate their move to get Konate this window over in 12 months on a free, they want to get that deal done to get Konate in. Liverpool's point will be, cool, we need to get in a centre-half. Mark Guehi ticks everything that we need there. Are Tottenham at the stage, and again, this is just me surmising on it, or again, it's the 2 + 2 = 5 conversation. Are Tottenham looking at it going, hang on, we want him. We expect Romero to go. Do we get in Guehi or Zabarnyi, whoever will do Guehi for this conversation? And we go, Let's get this. Let's be proactive for once. Again, I don't know how we act anyway. There's got to be reasoning for that. Spurs must be looking at going, he's one of our targets if Romero goes. And we expect Romero to go in the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not this window, if it's not January, if it's not next summer, we can't let one of our key targets go to Liverpool. Maybe that's the conversation. He will probably end up going to Liverpool because Liverpool are a bigger football club. But maybe that's what surmising it.
No, look, absolutely. Look, it's crazy, isn't it? Because the club, before the weekend, we had 9 centre-halves on the books, right?
Yes.
Dorrington, good luck to him, has joined Aberdeen.
Again.
Now, no offence, but I think we can say that safely that he's not going to have a part to play at Spurs ever in the first team. 2 years in a row being loaned out to Aberdeen. Spurs are signing centre-halves left, right and centre. He's not going to play. That leaves the following. Van der Ven and Romero, Dragashin and Danso, right, who I would say at the moment are the 4 first-team out-and-out centre-backs. You've then got Ben Davies, who signed a new contract that can play left-back and centre-half.
Yep.
You've then got the 3 youngsters. So that's 5. You've then got the 3 youngsters. You've got Phillips, Takai, and Vuskovic.
Yeah.
Now, Phillips, I can't see him being here next. I can't see how this boy gets a minute of football at Tottenham Hotspur. I would fully expect him to go on loan, probably a permanent transfer. The question you've got to ask yourself then is you've now got 7 centre-halves. Right? If Phillips goes, you've got 7 centre-halves. Dragashin is injured until November? That's 6 centre-halves. Ben Davies, does he see him being used? Right? Is Takai coming in to play for the first team immediately? Is he going to go out on loan? Is Vuskovic? But something's got to give because we're constantly linked with centre-backs, constantly linked with them.
Yeah.
Could it be that he might want to play a free?
Look, you would argue that might be the conversation. I think you will see the 2 of the 3 go out on loan somewhere. I mean Vuskovic, Takai, Phillips. Either 2 will go, 1 will stay, in my honest opinion. I think we don't need to worry about Ben Davies in the conversation. He's almost going to just be there for the sake of being there. He didn't sign a new contract. We extended it. We extended it, but we extended that, which I was a bit confused by, but like it is what it is. So I have a feeling 2 of the 3 youngsters will go out on loan / sold. I think they'll loan definitely probably Phillips and maybe Takai and maybe keep Vuskovic and think he might be. Let's see how this kid gets on next season. Yeah, the 3 at the back conversation for me. The back 3, the back 3 conversation is there. Who's your back 3? I'm a bit confused with it, if I'm honest, mate. I mean,
me too. Me too.
I'm trying to logically build it in my head why we've got so many. My only conversation thinking is Spurs expect Romero to go, right? Either now or in January. They must expect Romero to go. There is no other reason why we'd be trying to get in any more centre-backs. For me, if Guehi or Zabarnyi are the replacement for Romero, I've got no issues with it. I think they're competent centre-halves, and I think they're as good as Romero. Maybe even, I would say, a little bit more consistent than Romero.
Yeah.
That's how I see it personally. I think that it can only be that conversation. My only thinking.
It's just mad, isn't it? Because every time, listen, by the way, I've got no problem. I maybe Thomas Frank's come in and gone, I like Van der Ven and Romero, but their injury records I can't deal with.
Yeah.
I can't have both my 2 main centre-halves injured that much. Now, people say, it won't happen as much without Ange. But if you actually look at their careers, they've both had very injury-ridden careers. So maybe he's covering himself. But who would you take? If you could take Guehi or Zabarnyi, who are you taking? In the chat, let me ask you,
Yeah,
Guehi or Zabarnyi? No, there's no caveats, just Guehi or Zabarnyi if you could only have one.
Do you know what? I think I know what people in the chat will say, but do you know what? I really like Zabarnyi. He was one of those players we were linked with before we went to Bournemouth. It's another one. I feel like it's always that. I knew everyone would say, a lot of people will say Guehi, but I think Zabarnyi's a very, very good defender, by the way. Very good defender. Does that not just show how good Bournemouth's transfer strategy is? They're 2 centre-halves from last season, and they could get 140 million euros for the pair. Because I think Houston went for about 60, 70, didn't he? And if he goes to 70 as well. I'd take either, and I think those guys are top for me. I'd have either, but I think Zabarnyi would be better for what we want. By the way, I think Guehi, ironically, would be better for what Liverpool want. My opinion.
Yeah, look, I really like Zabarnyi. I was looking. I mean, from watching him, I really like him. But to back it up, I've gone and had a look at his defensive duties. He's very strong. He's very good with the duels. He's very good in the air. He's very good in the tackle. He's actually better than any of our centre-backs with those attributes, by the way, statistically. Yes. Where he's not as good, I'm not saying he's bad at it, but where ours excel over his is the bringing the ball out. Right. So our centre backs at the moment, if we're talking about Romero and Van der Ven, they excel with the more sexy side of the game, should we say, the more eye-pleasing stuff. Now, that can be many things. That can be that was the system they played in. That's what they were told to do. Maybe Zabarnyi at Bournemouth's game was win it, give it. Do you know what I mean? Win it, give it. Don't worry about the progressive passing. Don't worry about the driving forward with the ball. But I like Zabarnyi, 22 years of age. Already got 49 international caps for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like 22 years of age, 49 international caps. I wouldn't be bothered if any of our centre-halves went and he came in. But something's got to be happening. Something. Because I'll be shocked if we don't bring in another centre-half after all these links.
Yeah, the thing is we've been heavily linked with it, right? As I said, I like, I've liked Zabarnyi for a while. I thought, again, he was one of those players I saw before he went to Bournemouth and went, he looks a decent centre half. Yeah, look, there has to be, right? There has to be reasoning that Romero is gonna go. There has to be. As I said, it either goes one or two ways, right? We're trying to bring in players like a Zabarnyi or Guehi to go and say, well, look, there you go. There's strength in depth. But I think we're not naive enough to think that it is because Romero's going. Now, does that mean Romero's going in this window or next window? I think there has to be credence to that thing because it doesn't make sense why we'd need another centre half unless Romero is going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, I'll tell you what absolute disgraceful behaviour in the chat. We've got -4 subs in this show.
Oh, mate.
-4 subs, giving up 2 hours of our evening and -4 subs. Not very nice, people, is it? Keep smashing that button. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. And if you have liked, I appreciate it. If not, please do. There's 600 in here and 250 likes. I'll tell you what, I watch some channels and they're so good at it. Their people just come in and go like, blah, blah, blah. Here we really do struggle with it. We really do struggle with it. Yeah, I've got your message. It's a strange one. Look, for me, like, I really like Mark Guehi. I've wanted Guehi a lot, but I really like Zabarnyi. I just think Zabarnyi's unfashionable because he's coming from Bournemouth. But I thought him and Houston had built a really good partnership. I'd take either, to be brutally honest.
I wouldn't complain with either. I think for what we need in a centre half, I think Zabarnyi would offer us a bit more than what Guehi does. By the way, but I was going to just say this is a great point. I was going to say something. I think Guehi's the sort of guy you'd get in and make captain. I think that's a good. I think if that would definitely be a good argument. Someone just put in there, Lacroix, another centre half I'd take in a heartbeat. Heartbeat.
You know what he does? His job. No noise, no fuss, just does his job. And every game I watch him, I go, yeah, I like you. I like you. I like you. I want those defenders in my team. I don't want all these prima donnas. I don't want all these prima donnas. I don't want it. By the way, just quickly, it's just been announced that a fee has been agreed between AC Milan and Brighton for Estepanan. So just putting that out there, that Estepanan is looking like he's going to get his move to AC Milan. Everyone's all of these clubs that you and I were assured had no money. They're all signing players.
Italy's broke, I get told by Danny on a constant basis.
Danny tells me there's no money in Europe. All these European clubs are signing people. Where's our signings?
Do you know what would be incredible? I think we should let's see who the next left back.
Here he is.
Matt. I've got to go at 8. I can't stay late. I can't have it anymore. Here's a question.
I'd love Xavi Simons, but I think when you say go all in for him, I think the fact that Romero and Ornstein and Plettenberg have now said that his camp is in talks with Chelsea. I mean,
I'll tell you what. Have you seen another player that's just had his deal done? Very good striker, by the way. Matteo Retegui.
Yeah, 65
million euros to Al Qadis in Qatar. God, what? He's a striker that would it's incredible, right? Have you seen him play before? He's a very good striker.
Yeah, look, but again, where's he gone to?
Al Qadis or Qadar in Qatar, isn't he? Not Qatar, in Saudi Arabia. Mate.
And therein lies the real shame of this transfer market, doesn't it? Therein lies the real shame of it.
Mate, if Isak goes as well to Saudi Arabia, that is shambles. I know you had Blue Brother Charlie on earlier, and he today, and he said he made a good point. He said, I don't begrudge players for doing it. Like, I get it. I get the sentiment against football, but let's be fair. If you can pay your generations of families' wages with that crazy money, then it is what it is, right?
I love
Frank. Frank said it. Frank says he wants Romero here, so no matter what we think of him, we have to back. You do realize how these things work, right? Frank
Matt hasn't got a clue. No one's gone against the gaffer. Do you know what we've actually said, Matt? If you don't listen, cool, sign a contract.
Yeah,
sign a contract. If you want to be here, sign a contract.
This isn't about Frank at all. This is about Romero, right? If Romero, I always have this conversation. You know my stance on it: sell or contract, one of the two. I stand by it with Romero. If he is as committed as everyone, do you know what? I wish he was as committed as half our fan base think he is. Go on, sign a contract and stay here, and then we don't have to talk about signing centre halves.
Can I just ask, for justified son, how can you sign a player and make them captain? No way. Can I just ask, how do you get a captain into Tottenham Hotspur then if you don't want to sign one?
Wait, that's not.
No, hang on. I'll ask the chat. Cool. So when we all go, we haven't really got a captain, but now we're saying you can't. Sorry. Yes. So let me ask this question.
That's a good point, actually.
It's just mental. So if Spurs bought in, who's a top captain in the Premier League?
Jordan Henderson's a good example going into Brentford.
Is he captain?
Well, I don't know if they have, but they sold their captain Norgard to Arsenal, brought in Jordan Henderson. You know full damn well he'll probably make him captain. I don't know if he has, but that's a captain material signing, right?
Oh, for sure. Well, let's talk about this then. Branthwaite. Do you know the funny thing is when we're saying he's not sexy enough, I like Branthwaite, but do you know what? If you compare what he did in the last 2 years to what Collins of Brentford did for the last 2 years, Collins kicks his ass at every metric. But when you mention Collins, I wouldn't want him. He's at Brentford. Just saying. But listen, there's a lot of good centre-halves out there. I've said this all along, Adi. Said this all along. There are certain players that the moment, and this is what I've tried to explain this, Adi, to my man Matt a million times, is that if these clubs are just monitoring situations, They will say, keep us up to date. The moment a bid goes in, we want to know. By the way, so-and-so have bid. Right, what have they bid? 60. Here's 65. Right? Have a look last week at the greatest example of all of this, right? Is Mbeumo to Man United. Man United have been in talks with Mbeumo for how long? Right?
What?
All,
Nearly 2 months or so, weren't it? It was
summer,
long.
right?
Yeah.
And the moment that Ekatike rejected Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Newcastle turned their sights to Wissa. Everyone knows they might not sell both. And United shit their pants and went,
We'll pay what we've asked for from the start of it. Well, ironically, Brentford at the start were saying £65 million. Went, nah, you're wasting our time. 70 now. Now they paid 71. But do you know what? Do you know what I find funny? Right? Oh, what was I going to say? I've just completely lost what I was going to say. That's mental. Carry on. Forget that. It'll come back to me. But oh, that's weird. I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
No, it's cool. It's just cool. It's like, listen, now the Man United fans will be well pissed off that it's taken that long. Yeah. But to be fair, at this stage, he's not really missed any pre-season. Yes, where I get pissed off as a fan is this bit now where we're about to go on tour. This is where get in the next week, 10 days, get your business done. Get your business done and get those boys on that flight. Get those boys on that flight to South Korea. Get Matt.
That's what I was going to say. No, that's what I was going to say. I've just remembered what I was going to say. You know, when I hear this, just go and get insert player. Can we stop doing this, please? I know people now doing it to wind us up, but do you not think that Tottenham are having conversations and they've gone, yeah, but the players would rather go to Chelsea? Cool. Spurs, phone down. Like, just I love how people, again, you use the analogy Football Manager, FIFA, whatever you want to call it, right? It's almost this, just go and get someone else now. Like it's like going, I don't want a Twix, I want a Kit Kat now. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's listen, I'm all for the just go and sign. Like, I think the biggest example of this was last week or 2 weeks ago when it came through that, Arsenal have dropped interest in Sesko and Gyökeres is the man. And our fans just went, go and get Sesko. And it was like, well, hang on. Don't they want like 80, 90 million euros for him? And our fan, just go and get him. Just go get him. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy.
I love it.
I love it. It's brilliant.
Matt said, Richard said, Chelsea will only go for Xavi Simons depending on their outgoings. Let's get in there before the horse bolts. Matt, you do realise that they're in conversations for outgoings as we speak. You do realise they're on the verge of selling Renato Vega to Atletico Madrid for 40 million euros. Where's that money going to go? I'm going to put my mortgage on it. It's going on Xavi Simons. Matt, we've had this chat so many times. Why can't you understand how the world of football transfers work?
Yeah. And also the fact that they're having the conversation is hit to Fabrizio Romano thing is a lot further down the conversation. So if you think about it, right, you know what? You made a good point earlier, right, about our outgoings. Well, what are Chelsea doing at the moment? They're about to sell Renato Vega to Atletico Madrid. You do realise the story's here in the train of it. You're seeing it when it's probably about here. Spurs can't just go rock up and go, oh, by the way, before your player is spoken to Chelsea, before they sell their player, we want it. Like, it doesn't work like that. Come on, guys. Come on. Do better.
If you're not going to read the entire comment, don't reply. Still sticking to it, are you? I'm guessing that's not to me.
I was going to say, I don't know what that's. I think that's someone in the chat.
If that is to me, cool. I don't think it is. Ash, dude, listen. You always go like that. Listen, I didn't say I think it would happen. I think Mark Guehi's the player you get if Liverpool go and get someone else.
Yes.
I'm going to say the same thing, Matt, Ash, that I've said about Xavi Simons. Yeah? All the while, Chelsea want him. I don't see a point. If Chelsea don't get him, by the way, I still think, like Romano said, there are a host of other clubs who want him. That's when I think we try. But we're football fans, not saying you, but we're football fans don't understand. We have a thought that maybe Simons has been approached, and maybe he said, I want Chelsea. If that deal falls through, come back. I want Chelsea. That's my priority. We never take those things into account. So when people like Matt say, just go, if we move early enough, don't understand how the circle of agents and intermediaries work. It's so infuriating.
Yeah, you're right. The player will go, well, look, I want to go to Chelsea. However, I'll give an example. A player will probably say to his go, look, I want to go to Chelsea.
Don't be a
However,
prick, Mr. Post Office. Mr. Post Office, don't be a prick. Don't be a prick. Let's be a bit more grown up than that, shall we? Thank you.
What I was saying was the point is Simmons and his agent will go, my client, as in Xavi Simons, will go, I'm interested in Chelsea. However, I don't want to be sitting a saga for a month and a half. If I'm going to move, I want it done. So if they're not ready now, then I'll look elsewhere. So you got to remember, a lot of these players will have these sort of conversations. They'll go, my priority is to go to Chelsea, but I'm not going to sit and wait for months for them to get the job done, right? Like, people don't realize these sort of conversations happen. It's just go get him. Doesn't work like that.
Matt, do you want to come on? Do you want? I love Matt. Do you want to come on? What?
I'm up.
Listen,
20 minutes, Matt. Come on, then.
When you put these lists of players, in theory, I don't disagree with you. But Eze, we don't know, right? There must be a reason we've not gone for him. There must be a reason, right? Wharton. It's not going to be a good price. I don't know why you can't understand that. It's not going to be a good price. It's going to be a fucking huge price, right?
Yeah.
Xavi Simons, he's in talks with Chelsea. Guehi, I think we can get if Liverpool go elsewhere. But I guarantee you, if Tottenham tomorrow put in a bid for Guehi, by the way, it would mean that Guehi would have had to have said, yeah, I'm interested. I guarantee that Liverpool follow up that afternoon with a bid of their own, Perchy.
Yeah,
and that's what someone like Matt can't quite join. I'm not having a go, but he can't join those two dots. Sentences like this are Football Manager sentences. Yeah. Oh, I'd be happy with Grealish or Eze or Wharton or Simons or Guehi or Vlahovic. Vlahovic, who's on €375,000 a week. Do you know how difficult any deal to get Vlahovic? I'm not saying we can't. Do you realise the mechanics, the mental gymnastics that would have to happen to get Vlahovic to Tottenham?
It's almost like the shopping. It's almost like the shopping list. I think what people don't realise, right? It's like a shopping list, but you do realise you're not picking up cheese and ham from the shelf. You're picking up players. Players go, I don't want to go in your shopping basket because I want to go in their shopping basket. Vlahovic is a great example, right? Spurs could easily put down a bid for Vlahovic. Easily. We've got the money to do that if we wanted him.
The bid's not the problem.
The bid's not the problem. But the player will go, well, hang on. I'm not leaving when my contract's at 300 odd grand a week. I'm staying put until you offer something even remotely on that level. And then you've got to have the conversation and go, well, we are not breaking 100K for you. Well, they'll go back to Juve and say, well, are you going to cover the rest of that money? No. Okay, cool. I'm sitting put. As I said, it just becomes so silly. Like, you've got to think about all these different things. The binary nature of football fans really needs to wake up. We're in 2025 with so much information out there. But we just talk like it's so binary. I want X player.
I want to answer his question. I want to answer his question. I'm not dismissing everyone. This is what I mean, Matt. You keep coming along. I've not dismissed it. I've just said it's not as simple as you say. There are so many moving parts. For me, deals should be for people like Douglas Luiz. Yeah? Yao Paulinho. As I said, a Morgan Gibbs-White, right? Yao Paulinho, Douglas Luiz, a Morgan Gibbs-White. I think we should be looking at wide people like Makatudzi. I can never say his name, of Leon. But you're picking players that it's well documented that they're in talks with bigger football clubs than Tottenham. You're picking Eze when we know his camp are talking to Arsenal. You're picking Guehi when his camp are talking to Liverpool. You're picking Simons when his camp are talking to Chelsea. It's just not that simple, mate. It's just not that simple. I'm not saying none of them are obtainable. Maybe one of them is by hook, by crook. Maybe it's obtainable, right? But it's just not. I'm just so bored of seeing this. Just go and get him. Well, do we ever think about what does he want?
Yes.
What does he, the football player, want? I don't know, man. I know we've got to do something. I know we've got to do something, right? And that's the key thing here. We've got to do something.
Yeah, of course. I think signings will breed excitement, right? Transfers breed excitement.
Hang on. Right. When you said still waiting to hear a big club that have made a player captain after signing them. Look, Destiny 5, first and foremost, big clubs normally have their captain in place.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have any captains. Please tell me who should be captain at Tottenham Hotspur right now. Please tell me. Again, Ismail Turner, Savva talking like those players are world class. Mate, if you're going to chat shit, I'll kick you out. I've never said that once. What I said was those players are talking to bigger clubs than us. Yeah? So who should be captain at Spurs right now? So we've got Romero, a guy that apparently wants to leave. Yeah? Disrespected our manager on the first day he signed. Disrespected the fan base. Talks about wanting to go to La Liga. Yeah? And puts Argentina over Spurs. Sure. Let's make him captain.
Yeah, what an example. Spurs. What an example to everyone else that is.
Porro. Is Porro a captain? I don't know. Is he?
I don't know. I hear this about Porro. I think Sean was one that said it. I can't personally see it. I can understand to an extent, but I can't personally see it.
I agree. I don't think there's a single leader there. I don't think there's a...
I think the closest is Maddison is for me. But if we signed a big player, I'd have him in easily over him.
I don't think there's a leader of men. And what I mean by that is I don't think there's a leader of men who practices what he preach. I think Romero is a leader when he's on it again. Sure. But Romero is very temperamental. And a true captain, doesn't walk down the tunnel, right? After that stinker at Wolves without saying goodbye to the fans and sorry, whatever. A true captain doesn't 20 minutes after Thomas Frank signs put a tweet out about Ange Postecoglou.
Calculated tweet, yeah.
Right, a calculated tweet. Yeah? But I cut this guy. You don't know we've not moved for anyone. Matt, you drive me mad. You don't know we've not. You don't know we've not. Do you?
This is the bit madness. This is the difference, right, Matt? What we're talking about? We're talking about accelerating, going where's our next signing coming from? When you say we've done nothing, you do realize these people are paid a lot of money to go out there and look for him. Now, are we looking at the right markets? Are we doing this? Those things are happening. We're annoyed that they're not fulfilling. Massive difference.
Yeah, I just listen. We're all frustrated. By the way, we're all frustrated. We want signings, but I have tried my best to explain to Matt how transfers work, and he just doesn't. He doesn't understand it to the point where I'm thinking this is why I think he's a troll.
Yeah, he's doing it on purpose now.
Yeah, you just said the players are named are in talks with bigger clubs. Well, who are we in talks with, please? Everything we're doing is under the radar, right? Yeah. Did we know we were in talks with Takai? No. Did we know we were in talks with Morgan Gibbs-White? No. I don't know how you don't get it. I don't know how you don't understand how football transfers work. Matt, I'm not gonna read your comments out anymore after this unless you come on, because honestly, I've tried in a nice way to explain to you how the world of football transfers work, because I've worked in that world, and you won't listen. You just come out with stuff like, tell me who we're talking to. Well, I don't know. No one knows. That's the point. That's why we're frustrated. It doesn't mean we're not, though. What it means is until you hear nothing's far down the line. What you do know is that if Xavi Simons' camp are talking to Chelsea and that information has now got to the Romanos and the Ornsteins and the Plettenbergs. What that means is something's going to happen soon, doesn't it? Something's going to happen soon. I just don't understand how it's not just Matt, by the way, Perchy. So many can't wrap their head around the basics of a transfer.
Yeah.
It's baffling.
It becomes so like dumbed down to pay the money, offer them money, then they sign. Like they forget all the million other factors are involved. By the way, just to carry on, I did a little bit of chat GBT whilst you were having your thing about captains. And do you know what I love? When chat GBT almost reads out everything we just said. Important note. I'll read the end bit. There was a couple, by the way. Thiago Silva went into Chelsea and became captain in 2020. Zlatan Ibrahimovic when he went to LA Galaxy, slightly different when he went to America. Carlos Puyol when he was promoted was given the armband immediately. Just a few examples, but the notable important note at the end. This is a very rare that at the club level, because most teams have established captains before signings arrive. Usually, the only situations where it doesn't happen is clubs are undergoing a rebuild, lack of strong existing leaders, and a world-class player as proven leadership pedigree arrives. It's normally why. This is everything we just said, right?
Yeah. So Destiny, there you go. You just had examples of players that have gone to clubs and become captain. Can I ask a question? If you sign a true captain, a leader, why does it matter that he's not played for the club before?
Yeah.
If he goes in and he is the leader of men, the other players will respect that immediately.
I'll give you an example, right? I mean, he didn't become actually captain, but James Maddison came in and within a week of him joining the football club, became vice captain. I know it wasn't exactly captain. Yeah, Cannavaro went, that's a good shout. There's a few out there. Like, I think you're right, though. Like, I don't get why, like, for example, we all said it, right, that we didn't really think Son should have been captain last season. He only got it because he was at the club for so long, right? We've all said that. Every single one of us said it. And we all said that who should be captain? Maybe Romero or Maddison should have been captain last season. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Pizzas. Why are you on ChatGPT in the first place? You don't have authentic ball knowledge. Do you know the fact that you call it ball knowledge? Pizzas. By the way, Fabrizio Romano on his YouTube channel has just said that Spurs' focus still remains on closing the deal for Morgan Gibbs-White.
What did he say?
He said the focus at Tottenham remains on closing the deal for Morgan Gibbs.
Maybe that is exactly what's happening now. Maybe our whole window is debating on the whole Morgan Gibbs. But the fact is, do you know what? At least Romano has said something, right? Like it felt like in the last 10 days, no one said anything. That almost gives me a little bit of hope that something's about to happen, because maybe that we've had some actual knowledge on that maybe something's happened, right? Because we haven't had anything for nearly 10 days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. That's a good point. Yeah, John Terry went in and became captain at Villa. It's a good shout. Good shout, that one.
I don't understand this thing that it's not about how long you've been there, right? It's different if you're going to a club with an established captain.
Sure.
Right? It's different. But let's be brutally honest. If you are the best man for the job and you go in somewhere as a leader, be the captain.
Sure.
Be the captain. You know, I don't understand what it means. I don't understand when Destiny's saying, you can't just bring a player in. Why? If they're respected and they're a leader of men, get them in that dressing room.
Yeah.
So Romero's captain material all day, but captain material encompasses everything. You've got to see, this is what, again, Destiny, sorry, you say some crazy stuff. Captain material isn't walking down the tunnel when you're having a hissy fit. Captain material isn't talking live on television that you want to go and play in La Liga. Captain material isn't knocking the club's medical team on a tweet or whatever he did. Captain material isn't always putting Argentina above us. Captain material isn't tweeting out about Ange, I think, within 20 minutes of Frank joining.
And I think the thing is look, and the thing is I think the other key bit here is we'll use Romero as the argument here. A captain's got to be committed, right? And commitment goes both ways. If he signed a contract Look, and I'm not. I'll be fair with it. If he signed a contract tomorrow, and we went, he's signing a new 5-year deal, he will, and he'll be our captain. I've got no issues with that to an extent. I think because at least that way you've got commitment from both ends of the party. It gives it's a fairness. But you can't. If he hasn't signed a new contract, there is no way he's captain. No chance.
So Marios, Meta AI knows you, Savva. I asked it. Jesus Christ, what does Meta AI know about me? God, I don't actually think I want to know. Don't. Oh God, you're going to do it now, aren't you? Do it. We'll bring it up.
Should we do it live? Should we do it live? Should we do it live?
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it live. See how much Meta AI mugs me off. Go on.
Please, can you give me an analysis on Savva from Football Heritage TV? Carry on.
It'll probably say, sorry.
Let's see what that comes back with.
Let me do some super chats. Big up to Gary, by the way. You don't have to WhatsApp me to tell me I've not read your super chat out. I've always got them, man. Big up to Daniel Field with a super sticker. Really appreciate it, my man. Thank you very, very much. You've been very generous lately. I appreciate you and the 5 people that have just subscribed in the last 20 minutes. So thank you very much, Daniel. Very generous. And Daniel wasn't generous enough. He came back in and went even more generous. Thank you very much, Daniel. That is lovely of you. Thank you very much. Tony Rodriguez, always generous. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, buddy. I really do appreciate that, my man. You're always generous as well. Big up to you. And Gary Morton Barley said, we are a comfy armchair for mediocre players. But the problem is, I've said this before, Gary, half the problem is a lot of our fans seem to want us to sign these comfy armchair players. I'm dreading this. Our comfy armchair players. And this is the thing. As I always say to you, Gary, there's no one I wake up tomorrow other than Kudus right now, and I'm having a fit that has left the club. No one. Right? There's no one that I think is indispensable. So, hey, thank you very much, Gary. Really appreciate that. Phil Coys with the super sticker. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. Hope you had a safe journey home yesterday as well. Much appreciated, my man, and hope you enjoyed your trip to South.
Has he got scorch marks on his roasting he got on the barbecue? I'm just checking on. Did he got the scorch marks?
I think he came last in the quiz. That's what I'm pretty sure.
That says a lot, to be fair.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
I'm winding him up.
I'll be honest. I only know who won it. I don't know anything after that.
Honestly, Savva is the most humble person. He told me himself. Should you want to read out what ChatGPT thinks about Savva?
Oh, I'd love to.
Here we go. Who is Savva? Savva is what. This is what it says. I'm reading this verbatim, by the way. I'm not.
Go on, who is Savva? Go on.
Who is Savva? Savva is one of the main presenters on Football Heritage TV, which is a Tottenham Hotspur-centric channel under the broader Football Heritage brand. He frequently has host daily shows, morning chats, transfer deadline day specials, and rant sessions offering analysis on Spurs, performances, tactics, player news, and transfer developments. Presenting style. Number 1, straight talking and passionate. He's known for delivering honest, no-nonsense takes, blending statistical insight with emotional reactions. For instance, his facts versus feelings breakdown become on one of his channel's notorious videos. Number 2, engaging with guests. The Ask Us Anything episodes with various co-hosts Butler, Lubo, Stell, Perchy, George, and guess who's the last one?
Go on.
Matt. Create a relaxed conversational vibe. His balance of humor and critique, framing Spurs news in a format that feels like a pub chat. It's fair. Number 3, timely content. He often jumps on breaking news and football trends like deadline day moves, post-match teasers, tactical shifts, or controversial comments, players/coaches. Strengths. This is it. This is telling you everything, by the way. Fan-centric perspective. Speaks from the viewpoint of a Spurs supporter. I mean, at least they haven't called you an Aston Villa fan yet. Ensuring strong affinity with the fan base. Consistency. The channel uploads regular, scheduled content, daily rants, morning chats, match previews, etc., keeping viewers continually engaged. Balanced takes. Savva's style mixes passionate reactions and stat-backed analysis, offering both entertainment and insight. Areas to watch. This is great, by the way. This is beautiful.
I'm going to put this on my LinkedIn page.
I would, mate. This should be your bio on your channel. His subjectivity bias. His strong alignment with Spurs means that his critique may lean more emotional than neutral. Great for fans, but biased from a broader football logic perspective. Don't know if that's a bit fair. He's a Villa fan, we get told. Repetitive tropes. Frequent format, e.g. morning chats, rants, deadline day shows, means similar structures might feel repetitive to the regular viewer, and even if its subject matter change. Next point, depth versus speed. While quick takes are timely, deep tactical breakdowns, set plays, formation trends are rare, possibly leaving detail-hungry fans wanting more specificity. Oh, I've written that one. This is great. We got 2 more paragraphs and we're done. Channel fit and appeal. If you're a Tottenham fan who wants regular, quick doses of football information, relatability through familiar voice who gets fans' frustrations, interactive chat style shows with guests and banter, then Savva and Football Heritage TV hits the sweet spot. However, if you are searching for deep dive tactical content or an unbiased wider Premier League lens, you might need additional sources.
Can I tell you that last sentence just quickly? I feel half that sentence might be right. The other half I don't agree with.
A little bit wrong.
I think the bias thing, I'm the furthest from Spurs bias there is, aren't I? Anyway,
do you want ChatGPT to give you your summary?
I'd love to. Yeah, tell me.
Savva is a passionate and consistent voice in the Spurs fan community. He delivers a mix of emotional and factual analysis and variety content and interactive formats. His strong fan alignment and quick reactions make him entertaining and relatable through his bias and lighter tactical depths that may not suit every viewer. And then it says, if you like, I can pick out highlights from specific episodes, delve into analysis techniques, compare him to other Spurs commentators, or even we're gonna do that. We're gonna move on to the comparisons later. This is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, box office. You didn't even get mentioned, mate. Matt got mentioned before box office. Just saying.
Yeah, but maybe AI, is it meta AI? If it doesn't know, it needs to get to know. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's a lot of information. I tell you what, the world scares me. The world scares the crap out of me. How that works.
So we just smashed in. We'll do it in a bit later. Please, can you compare Savva with other Spurs creators? We'll do that later.
Jesus Christ, do we have to do that? Perchy, how big is your flask? That's enormous.
Oh yeah, I bought it. The missus doesn't like it. She thinks it's absolutely outrageous. But what it does is it keeps ice cold for ages. So like when I'm working, I just have it filled with ice all day. But it is massive.
Here we go. Fabrizio Romano has said nothing concrete between Tottenham and Zabarnyi right now. Shock. It's PSG who are pushing. Shock. The focus at Spurs is on different things, including closing the deal for Gibbs-White and more. And more. What do you mean, and more? Like, what? What? By the way, Man United have signed Bryan Mbeumo. It's gone through right this second. It's breaking right now on Sky Sports. Bryan Mbeumo has signed for Man United. So in the space of one summer, Man United have already added Mbeumo and Cunha. And it looks like they are after a striker. We've heard that it's either going to be Sesko. Who was it? It was either Sesko, Ollie Watkins, or Nicholas Jackson. So Fabrizio Romano doing what he normally does. He said a lot of things without saying anything.
Can I just
he's a good player, Bobby. Bobby Zabarnyi's a good player, man. Zabarnyi's a good defender.
Oh, he's a very good defender. Can I pin one that did make me giggle? Perchy got the nothing beats the Jet 2 holiday voice.
Who said
I don't know.
that? Oh,
Look, I'm
Kubi
on the chat.
Perchy's got that. Nothing beats a jet to holiday, boys.
Nothing beats a jet to
holiday.
Have you not seen the advert, the meme that goes round? Nothing beats a jet too hot. You know the
Oh,
advert?
yeah.
And now everyone
yeah.
puts it on their horrible moments on holiday. Nothing beats a jet to holiday.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm just trying to see if. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Sorry, I did my own Chat GPT search. It's so funny reading about yourself. Like some of it, you go, yeah, I'm happy with that. Other bits, I've gone, what? Oh, maybe I need to work on myself. Look, another player that's been mentioned, Perch. I don't know how long you've got left. What's
Yeah, I've got, I've got just before Love Island at 9. I've been told if I, by the way, if I miss Love Island one more Monday after last week, Matt, you are the blame. Yeah, I am. I've got to Love Island at 9 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do you one better. I'm definitely not going until 9. I'm definitely
That's
not
fair.
going until 9. But a name that's been flying around the internet today. I'm being sent. I get sent shit so much shit in a day. Like my phone just at the end of the day, I go to bed every night, right? And I have to delete about 100 images. Like, they come over from WhatsApps.
Oh, I
chats.
turned that off ages ago. Yeah, you can turn that off,
No, but I want to keep some of them, so
Right,
I'd rather do it manually. Kobe Mainu is a name that seems to be flying around today. I think you can see that we are going English in this, aren't we? I mean,
we're linked with Mainu.
Mainu.
Oh, I haven't seen this. So this is a new one. I haven't heard this. So what? We're linked with Kobe Mainu. Okay.
Well, it's one of those names going round. I don't know how concrete it is.
And where have they said? Is it one of these where it's just some random person said it, or is this a relatively reputable person? Okay, sorry, I'll be honest. I'm genuinely. This is a brand. This is new. I've heard of this. So sorry. So who's actually said this?
Oh God, hang on. Let me go and check my WhatsApp. I've been sent it by a few people. Hang on. Who sent it? Kobe Mainu was Kobe Mainu was keen on joining Tottenham. I'm unsure how King Spurs are currently. Chelsea are also Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea are there. It's been sent to me a few times. There's no real reputable source on it, but everyone's been messaging me asking me what I think of Kobe Mainu. Would you take him?
I don't know whether. Sorry, Love Island's good. Don't hate on Love Island. Would I have Kobe Mainu? Yeah, I think good player. The only problem, the only issue I have with Kobe Mainu, and it's not that I don't think he's a good player. I don't know how good of a player he is. I thought for me, he had one of those burst on the scene moments, and then you kind of go, he got that injury, didn't he? If I'm right, I could be wrong, right? But I'm not sure how good he is, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's more one of those ones where Kobe Mainu, again, you know what football fans are like. Kobe Mainu comes in, does well for 6 months, and everyone goes, oh my God, this is the greatest young player in the history of football. We've done it with Bergvall already.
Yes.
Rather than seeing players do it over 2-3 years till they get to a good age, we claim they're amazing after one season. Look, I think he looks a good player. He's another one, though, at that Man United kind of shit show where is he a product of the Man United environment, or is he a really good player that needs to leave there to I don't know.
I think you made a good example using Bergvall as a kind of example, right? Because everyone hypes about how great Bergvall is, but actually, was Bergvall only good because we were all over the place and he kind of shone out of nowhere? Has Mainu done that at Man United? And I don't really know. Mainu's another one where, I feel like he's very similar to Bergvall. I don't know what he is. Is he an 8? Is he a 6? Is he a 10? I don't really know what Kobe Mainu is. By the way, I like him. He's a good player, but he has very much Bergvall characteristics. We don't really know how good he is until he's played in a consistent, stable team. Same with Bergvall, by the way. We don't really know how good Bergvall is until he plays in a stable, consistent team.
Yeah. No, mate, I completely agree with you. Look, it just, I've got a feeling. I'm going to do the last 10 minutes. I've got a feeling that in the next week, I think we're going to see a couple. I do. I call me deluded. Call me deluded. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know there's this thing on the internet that, oh my God, you were wrong. Yes, okay. I mean, mostly we're all wrong about everything every day. Like it's absolutely fine. I've got a feeling we're going to see in the next week or so before we go. I think we will add 2 players. I think we will.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling maybe one of them might just be a complete name like that out of nowhere. It might be someone where you go, oh shit, we've signed him.
I think you've got to remember, you've got to look at the likes of Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea to an extent.
Sorry, by the way, can you see?
What did you not watch as an 18? No,
do you see what I mean? Is what they've done is they've seen a kid have half a good season, and already it's like, look at the pedestal these people are putting on. It's like, just let him learn and develop in a proper system. He's a good player. Yeah, he's got a lot about him.
But this is the point. This is where people don't listen to what's said, right? I think he's a good player, but what level is he, though? Is he going to be top player, or is he going to be squad player? Like, he was the prophet of our chaos, right? As I said, he was the prophet of our chaos, right? But sort
Destiny, man. Just look at it's the words. It's like class. Listen, Bergval's got a lot about him that can be developed and nurtured and coached.
Sure.
But he's also a young lad that's only played for about half a season properly in the first team.
In a team that was all over the place as well, by the way. Like, so we don't really know how good he is yet.
So I'm not saying he's not good, Destiny 5, but look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. By the way, if he'd gone to Barcelona, he wouldn't have got in the first team, mate. There's a difference, right?
In Masia.
Look what you're doing, right? You're putting these players up there. Let him develop. He's a 19-year-old kid that needs to develop.
Yes.
I don't even know, as Perchy said, I don't even know what position he is because we saw him in such a dysfunctional setup. So this year, let's see him develop. Let's see him hold down a position. Let's see him become the player that fans think he is. But at 19, let me ask this question. For class, I'll ask you this. I'd love someone like Destiny to come on. For class, right? What's he class at? I'm not knocking him. I'm asking you. What's he class at? Because it's not scoring goals. It's not assisting. His passing is very wayward, gives the ball away in very dangerous areas. So what's he class at? No, and by the way, no, this is like what Matt did last week. Class does not mean potential. Potential means potential. Means class, right? So you're doing that thing again.
He's a class player.
Answer the direct question. Tell me why he's class. Why have you gone in so early on a 19-year-old to call them class?
Yeah. No, I think that's the main point, right? And I think it's just silly, like, what guys like. Look, as I said, by the way, we could be sat here in 12 months' time going, "What a season from Bergval! He is the first name in the midfield." But we can't wait until we get there, right? This is the problem, right? You're right. We want to tell our players are up here whilst they're still down here. Let's wait till he gets there. Listen, he could do, by the way. I think, by the way, Bergval, of all of our kids that we've got, is the one I'm excited for. I think he's the one that I go, you're the one I can see actually becoming something. I think Vuskovic to an extent, but I haven't seen him enough to start talking about it. But I just think we're just going over the top, right? But yeah, I just think, can we just wait until we get there, right? Let's wait until we get there.
We never do. We never do. Like, I mean, look, listen, we all saw with our own eyes, right? But if I look at things like I saw with my eyes, but I've just gone and checked Sofa score rating, goals, assists, and all his data is not amazing. But you know what, Perchy? I wouldn't expect it to be amazing. He's had his first half a season really in the Premier League. But this is the problem. Fans like Destiny put him up there, right? They expect listen, Yamal. Now, Yamal, everyone in the world can tell me is class, right?
Sure.
Yamal.
Of course he is.
But we're doing that thing again where if anybody has a kind of if anyone has a kind of sensible approach to letting a young player develop, oh, you don't get how good he is. Okay, cool. But you've got to remember, Destiny, I don't know how old you are. I've supported Spurs 40 years. And do you know how many players I hear every year? Nah, but this kid's class. This kid's class. Let him develop
Get
2,
there.
3
Let him get
years.
there.
Right? Let him get there. He's got a lot of potential. I don't think any of us are doubting that. His ability to drift past players is very good. He can't score goals for love nor money yet.
Mhm.
He doesn't assist yet. He gives the ball away a lot, which I would expect. Thomas Frank, right? We'll have to get that, develop his game, get him. He's going to have to get that with a lot of the younger players.
Agreed.
Develop them, coach them.
Look, I think the key bit about Bergvall this season, I think we all know there is quality there. I think you know my thoughts on it. He needs to nail down a position, right? He needs to nail down a position.
Sure.
So we go, he is our number 8. He's our midfielder. Like, the problem with, as you said, last season under Ange, it was all over the place. And he, in a weird way, benefited from that chaos, and everyone went, he's a good little player, him, because everything else was just awful. So it was almost like finding the positive out of a really, really awful league campaign. And Bergvall kind of became the shining light of our league campaign because everything else was a little bit awful, right?
Look, I'll ask you this. If Spurs, if Bergvall is the class player you say he is, like, why are we all clambering for more midfielders?
Bingo. Right? Bingo.
Listen, and again, if Bergvall's this amazing box-to-box number 8, why are Spurs locked in a legal battle for Morgan Gibbs-White? Because you know what? Because Bergvall's young and he needs time to develop, to grow into what Morgan Gibbs-White is. For example, I just don't understand. Paul, he scored 1 goal all season, mate. Like, he scored 1 goal all season. Like,
I think the thing is, guys, I think what me and Savva are trying to say here, and what people don't, what happens here is this is what happens here, Savva. Everyone says this now, and now, fine, okay, I will give Destiny and all these guys that are saying this about how classy he is. Fine, then don't have a go at us if we criticize him because he's not been performing.
Right,
you can't have it both ways.
Right. So if I turn around and say after any game, God, I thought Bergvall's poor today, not, oh, he's young.
Yeah.
You're telling me, you're telling me he's, listen, you're saying I mean, again, sorry, this is one of those sections where I've got one person. I agree, Savva. I've never seen an 18-year-old, I think you mean dominate the midfield like this. Dominate what midfield? What did he do to dominate midfield?
Hang on a minute. You've never seen an 18-year-old. Go and watch Xavi play when he was 18. He was Pedri when he was 18. Come on. This is ridiculous.
Declan Rice when he was 18.
Declan Rice at 18. I mean, come on. This is insane.
Dele Alli at 18.
Yeah.
Right? Kobe Mainu had a brilliant year for Man United, gets in the England squad and gets that plays at the Euros and ends up playing in the Euro final. Now, people are just he wasn't that good, was he? All I'm saying is give it a bit of time. Give him a bit of time. Like, I don't know why we're so desperate. I don't know why we're so desperate to put everybody amazing, right? But when I watch Barcelona play and I watch them with the likes of Casado, Gavi, Pedri, Fernandes, right? Balde, Yamal, I watch those kids and go, wow. When I watch Bergvall, I go, you got potential, but that potential needs to be realised. That potential needs to be coached. That potential needs time to grow. But for some reason, I tell you what, let me use the best example I can of a player that is currently signing for somewhere. And I brought this up this morning, Perchy. Evan Ferguson.
Good point.
2 years ago, everyone, oh my God, you got to sign Evan Ferguson. Oh my God, he's like Shearer. Oh my God, he's like Kane. He's 100 million. 2 years later, he's done absolutely jack diddly squat. It's not developed the way he would have liked. Now he's 20. He can still develop. He's still young. But again, everyone lost their minds. They're doing it now with Vuskovic after 45 minutes of a friendly. We don't learn. Just take your time.
I think The problem is,
Destiny, don't troll. Perchy read out about 8 from.
I
ChatGPT.
got comfortably. There was plenty. I mean, loads of people in the chat read loads out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry, mate. Now you're at the stage where it sounds like you're trolling because you did hear a lot. And what's that got to do with the conversation we're having?
Yeah, we've moved on from that a long time ago. I think.
Anthony,
Look, I think
Anthony, this. We did it with Skip. We did it with Winks, right? We done it with Ryan Sessegnon, right? We did it with Troy Parrott. We did it with, look at Devine. Everyone has screamed and raved about Devine. And in the 5 years Devine's been at Spurs,
yeah,
he's not playing games, is he?
But this is the key bit, right? Look, the thing is what people think we're doing. What unfortunately, me and Sav are exposing the hypocrisy in it all. Because as I said, you guys get, not you guys, the people that are saying this, get your cake and eat it, right? Because in theory, if he does well, it's, oh my God, this kid is amazing. If he does bad, it's, oh, he's just a kid, let him grow. Hang on, you can't then say he's class then. You got, if Destiny, I know you're one saying it here. If, for example, if he's class, then I'll judge him. I say this about any player, right? I say this about Son. If people want to say Heung-min Son is world class, I'll judge him at world class level. And Destiny, the reason why I used Barcelona players, because you're the one that said Barcelona wanted Bergvall.
Exactly.
You can't have it both ways.
Honestly, I genuinely think, listen, I get that people want to be seen as super fans. I get it. Right? Let me put this out there right now. I'll speak for Perchy. He will tell me if I'm wrong. Perchy and I would love it if Bergvall went on to be the greatest midfielder of all time.
Cool.
Sure. And no one's saying he can't. But right now, what I've seen is a young kid who was in a very dysfunctional setup with no structure to it, that had some good spells in games where you went, okay, you got something about you. Yeah. But what we can't do is turn around and go, he's class. Like, just let it run. So if you're getting Barcelona as the bar, why is he not good enough when he you're not, is this guy, you're trolling now, Destiny.
No, Destiny. Hang on. I'm going to unbreak your whole point here. When he signed, not one person said he's our starting midfielder when he signed. They went, cool, I want to see what this kid can do. And what we saw was a good player. Did anyone in this chat think that he would make more than 10 or 15 appearances last season? No, we didn't. We thought he was a kid. Like, come on, man. He's a good player. But let's not, when we use the terms of class, amazing, sensational, why can't we just go, this is a decent young kid that I'm excited to see what we're going to see more of him in. Why can't it just be sensible?
I know. It's all. Again, look at the superlatives. It'll be amazing. Just let him grow. Let him grow. Because look, I'm going to be honest. I think if we start the season and Bergvall's one of our two central midfielders, I'm disappointed. What that will show to me is that we've not gone out and bought seriously for the Champions League. Right? That should be the guy that we develop for the next year or two. That's the guy you develop. That's the guy that in 2 years you go, he's 21 now. This is the guy. Right?
Yeah.
Now, he might get there sooner. He might never get there. But you know what? We've all seen enough players, right? We've all seen enough players over the years where, I mean, if I was to sit here and give you every young player that I've heard I'm a bit older than you, right? Every young player that I've heard be talked about in this vein, right? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look at the way Lubo talks about Gray. Look at the way Kinski, after one game, his debut against Liverpool. Oh my God, he's better than Vicario. Like, whoa, like, whoa. Like, you know, Ajayi comes on, gets a really good goal against Elfsborg. That boy's got to be playing. Like, whoa, just so mad. It's I think absolutely mad.
Look, Bergvall will get to the levels of whatever he gets to on his own merit.
Yeah, of course.
This is the problem, right? We live in a world where meritocracy doesn't become a thing anymore. We live in a world where potential becomes the currency. Now, if Bergvall was 10 years older than he is, I don't think any of us are sitting there going, this kid's class. Everyone will go, God, he needs to do better. His passing's not good enough at his age, right? Does that make sense? If he's 18 now, right? If he was a 28-year-old midfielder, I don't think we're singing his praises like people sing his praises of now. Now, that's the difference, right? Meritocracy. Look, good player. I think he's going to come good. I think out of all the youngsters we have, he's the one I expect to come good.
By the way, Bobby Andrews and Lord Rodney Trotter, I've been following your little spat for the last 5 minutes. Why are you two? Why can't you have a conversation without calling each other a fake fan and blah, blah, blah? Come on, guys. Come on. I know I'm a massive hypocrite because it's what we do on YouTube. But listen, all I'll say is I thought the game at the weekend summed up Bergvall for me. Some nice moments as a player.
Yeah.
Gives the ball away in far too many dangerous areas. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's young. He's young. Frank will work with him on that. Whoever his manager after Frank is will work with him on that.
He almost does the heroic pass too much. Sometimes you can pass it sensibly.
He overplays.
He almost wants to make that hero ball that we lose the ball, and a coach like Frank coaches that out of him, because I see a lot on the ball. I think you're right on the ball, but you've got to be so much better in your passing in midfield. Like, you lose the ball far too easily and you lose wayward passes. I think that's the key bit, right?
Yeah, look. I just think. Well, but Destiny, when you say why would I troll, because you've brought up Barcelona. Perchy's responded to you about Barcelona, and you're saying, why are we talking about Barcelona? See, and again, and you know why you're getting called a troll is because you've done exactly what this team does. Look, we write off our players to who's like it's like Matt's ears don't work. Who's written him off? What we're saying is,
I've got your microphone.
Let him develop. You know, who's written him off? Matt, you're being a tit. You're being an absolute tit.
I love how I say I think he's going to be an immense talent for us, and all of a sudden then I've written him off. I don't know how I've said he's literally going to become the best young player that we've got growing through our ranks.
I'd love to know how someone like Matt gets through. Like, how does he get through? You know, like when you have to fill in proper forms, like with the HMRC and shit online. I'd love to know how someone like Matt, who can't put the dots together on anything, actually does this sort of stuff. Like immense talent. I mean, cool. You can use whatever superlative you want. It doesn't make you a better fan. We write off our players. No one's written him off. What will happen now, right? Right? What will happen here, Perchy, is if he has an amazing season, people will go, oh, you didn't rate him. No one said that. No one said that at all. What Perchy actually said was, of all the youngsters at the club, and there are many, he's the one. That's actually what Perchy said. He's the one, right? So all I'm saying is I'm going to let him grow. I'll watch. I'll judge him the way I do any other player in the team. If he plays well, I'll judge him. If he plays badly, I'll judge him. But what fans can't do, stop. It's like that, the old Harry Kane thing. Everyone wants to tell you he's the greatest striker in the world, right?
Yeah.
So when I judge him like that in the biggest of games, and people go, you can't judge him like that. Well, why? You're telling me he's one of the greatest players in the world. I'm asking in the big games for one of the greatest players in the world to show that.
Yes.
I'm going by your metric, not mine. I've heard you both slag off. I haven't slagged off Gray at the moment. Again, I will block you, mate, because now you're doing that thing you do when you twist everyone's words. Archie Gray, I've said, I've not seen anything yet. I've not seen anything. My worry for Archie Gray as a footballer, if anyone actually listens, right?
Do you know what I find funny, by the way? Someone made a good point here. Matt is on every stream, by the way. So he must know every opinion being said because he's here every moment. Yet he still doesn't listen to what is being said. Or you're doing it on purpose, which I think it is now. I think you are doing this on purpose. Because no one has written off Archie Gray. what everyone has said, and again, I'll speak for Savva, he can answer himself if he thinks I'm wrong. Archie Gray, again, is another one which, in a chaotic system, came in, had some moments. I think he was passed around a back line where he's not comfortable in. He hasn't played in a midfielder that everyone's telling me is a midfielder. And now we're sitting there going, slagging him off. Now, we're sitting there going, I want to see what the hype's about this kid. Everyone tells me stuff that this kid does, but we don't actually get to see it. So we want to see it. And if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. But not everyone's going to make... We're the only fan base that thinks that every kid is going to blow up. You're not helping the cause here, Bobby. Oh.
Matt, right now, I don't think he's good enough.
Hang on, that's not slagging a player off, though, is it?
Slagging him off, Matt. Look, I'm blocking Matt. The problem is he wants to go against everything that anyone else says. I'm going to say this one last time for people like Matt and those that can't listen. Have I seen anything yet from Archie Gray that I jump on the hype? No. Have I seen anything that tells me he is ready to be a number 1 to 11 in the Spurs team? No. Do I think he could become good in the future? Sure. Why not? Do I think he should go out on loan? I think if you want him to have 46 games a season in midfield, I don't see what harm it would do. Why is that bad to say? Honestly, Matt, you've got to think before you say these things, because you're not listening. And this is the problem with half of YouTube. Do you know what I get a lot, Perchy? I get a lot of people who message me in my comment section on like after a show. Like, oh my God, so-and-so slagging you off. Like it might be Wolfie slagging you off. I'm just using him. It's never happened with him. And what will happen is I'll go and watch that show. And what they've actually said is they've critiqued something I've said. They've not slagged me off in any way, shape, or form. They said, oh, I saw Savva saying this and I can't agree with him. I don't rate this. That's not slagging me off. Slagging me off is when I'm called a paedophile or a wanker. It's just a little bit mad that the years seem to be. The years are one of the only thing on the body you've got two of, and they both don't ever seem to be used with this guy. And I know he's chickened out of coming on, which is fine. I'd love him to come on and tell me, though. Come on and tell me why Archie Gray should be in the 11. Here you go. There's a question. Matt, should Archie Gray start central midfield for Spurs this season? All of you right now, 450 of you in here. Should Archie Gray? I just want a yes or a no. Please, no other words. Just a yes or no so I can see clearly down, right? Would you start Archie Gray in centre mid for Tottenham? And if your answer is no, my point is, Perchy, like I've said to you and said to Lubo so many times, then how does he grow as a midfielder if we don't want to loan him out?
Matt, I've just realised that Matt's mastered the art, by the way, of never being wrong, because he actually hasn't got an art point. Absolutely. Because earlier on in the show, and this is just in one show, earlier on in the show, he said, Spurs need to be signing the likes of Adam Wharton. Well, if Archie Gray's good enough, then why are we signing Adam Wharton?
Hang on. He wants us to sign Wharton, another player to go in front of Gray. So surely you're slagging off Gray.
But this is my point, though. So I actually don't know what Matt's real opinion is, right? It's almost, and Matt, and I don't take this in a negative front, by the way. I don't, because I think what I think you're doing at the moment, right, is you're kind of just going against the grain with everything. And that's fine.
Everything.
But the problem is it comes across in a way of you don't really have an opinion, because your opinions unravel like a moldy onion. It just falls apart, because in this show, you sat here and said, we should be going out there and spending all this money on Adam Wharton. But now you're saying that we've got Archie Gray, who you think can get good now. Like, which is it? I don't know where your overarching opinion is, right?
Well, I mean, he actually said, yeah, and Ryan's quote, the first thing he said was he needs games. He shouldn't start, but he should get game time to grow. Cool. All right. So I'm asking you this question. All right. I'm asking this question. Let's assume Spurs have got Basuma, Bentancur, Sarr, Bergvall, Gray. We've got 5 there already.
Yep.
Morgan Gibbs-White, if he comes in, makes it 6.
Sure.
Right? Matt wants a Wharton or a Douglas Luiz type player. Right? That's 7. Pray tell, where is Archie Gray getting game time? Where?
Yeah.
Because he's not playing, like, let's be fair. Let's say out of those players, by the way, I'm not including Kulu and Madison because I have them as 10s, right?
Yeah.
So out of all those 6, 7, 8 midfielders I've named, right, let's say your first 2 are Gibbs-White and let's say Douglas Luiz signs. Gibbs-White and Luiz start. All right, cool. So when they're not playing, surely Bergvall and Bentancur play, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got Papa Sarr. Please, pray tell, where on earth does Archie Gray get game time? So, but let me ask you this, Matt. Why does Sarr need to go, but Archie Gray doesn't? That's what I don't get. So isn't that you slagging off Sarr? Aren't you now doing the same thing that you've just accused me of doing to Gray?
But you know
now,
yeah.
I'd rather Sarr than Gray. Right now, I'd rather Sarr than Gray.
But this is the problem, right? And again, this is where it is because if we'd said keep Gray and get rid of Sarr, Matt would have said, you're wrong, we need to keep a hold of Sarr, you're so negative, blah, blah, blah. So this is where, unfortunately, the whole point and the whole argument becomes a nothing, right?
But this is my point. This is my point. There are people, and I like the word pretzel. There are people you can wrap up in a pretzel because they say so many things to contradict themselves that when you put their point back to them. So me saying Archie Gray should go out on loan. By the way, I've never sat here and said, sell him, he's shit. Now, if he was sold, I'm not going to cry, but I've never said, my actual words, Perchy, are what? He needs a loan, right?
I agree.
Now, here's my point. If Archie Gray stays, cool, he stays. I don't think he will go on loan, by the way. Archie Gray stays. Doesn't get a lot of game time in midfield. We're now a year further down the line. What are we saying then? What are we saying then? We've now had him for 2 years. He's hardly played in midfield. What would that have done? Why would you not want him to go and have 46 games in the championship at the top of the championship, playing week in, week out, helping a team get promoted?
Yeah, no, I think that's the key bit, right? Listen, like
more talent as a hot. Sorry, look, like so because we spent more money on Gray than Sarr means he's better. What have you seen from Gray that tells you he's got more talent than Sarr?
But if we're basing it on we spent big money, well, we didn't spend big money on Bergvall, and you've just been telling us he's going to be the best midfielder going. So this is how when you base your arguments on things like that, they're so easily undoable, right?
I agree. I just think people need to get Gray. I think Gray had only just come back from. Yeah,
Gray wasn't in the squad at all.
Because he was given time off because he was with the England under-21s. Yes. But as I always say to you, mate, this is what I love about Matt. So when at the barbecue at the weekend, a few of the others said, I think you're a bit harsh on Matt. And I said, you do realise that for a year, Matt's been in my channel and I've seen everything this guy has said, right? And now that Andrew's got sacked, he's got his knickers in a twist, and now everything I say, honestly, I say Mbuemo's just signed for Man United. He'll say, "Oh, he actually signed 15 minutes ago." You know, he's got to find a way to. That's the type of person he is. That's why he doesn't put his camera on. He won't put his face to his dreadful takes. You know.
Yeah, look. I think. Look, what I will say though, I think we have to be more sensible when we're having these debates. If you're going to look, I've no issues with people having opinions and supporting their argument, whether I agree or disagree with it. If you can support your argument with rationale and understanding, then I'm all for it. But when you say things like, "Oh, well, we spent big money on Gray," that must mean that he's got a bigger ceilings of. Well, but you've just told me how great Bergvall is, but we only paid £8 million for him. Like. When you're using
so Matt, should Richarlison start every game?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those that
pay big money for him. You know what I mean? It's like I just think people. I've said this for ages. People are so desperate to be a better fan than other fans that they let the truth taint opinion. And what I mean by truth taint opinion, they let the truth not be the important thing in what they say, right? So all of these years, I've been doing this for years, as you know, Perchy. Before YouTube, I was doing a podcast. And
Yeah.
for years, I was told, oh, Savva, you're wrong about Aurier. You're wrong about Winks. You're wrong about Skip. You're wrong about Dyer. You're wrong about Davis. You're wrong about Sissoko. You're wrong about Ndombele. You're wrong about Lo Celso and Bergwijn and Moore and Lamela. And yet what happens is these players stay so long that the fans that loved them are now calling them deadwood and blaming the club for not getting rid of them. And that cycle repeats. And this is the problem. The Matts of this world, right? 3 years ago, I didn't know Matt then, would have been saying the exact same thing he's saying about Gray, about Sarr.
Yep.
We signed him, get behind him. He's got high ceiling. He's got potential.
And then what it will be.
No, Matt, you didn't give reasons. Sorry, Perchy. You thinking Gray has a higher ceiling. You have no way of knowing that. You have no way of knowing that at all. Right? When you're saying Sarr is not good enough, by the way, Matt, I 100% agree with you. But if you don't think Sarr's good enough, why is Gray?
Yeah.
That's the point, mate. You're not understanding
rationale on that. Yeah.
Put the rationale. It's okay to say a player isn't that great or needs a loan.
By the way, there's equally no issue in saying, I don't think he did enough last season. I want to see more. And then I'll judge it how good I think this kid's going to be in a season. Like, I think that's an equally fair point. I don't understand as I always say, I always use the age thing as a bracket, as a benchmark, right? If Archie Gray was 10 years old, I used it earlier. If he was 10 years older, would we be talking about how great he is? I don't think we would. I don't think he did anything. Did he do anything different to what someone like Ben Davies did last season? Probably not. So I think we have to be really careful with what we're saying with it all. And I think, look,
he just wants to be different on every. If everybody in here said, if everybody in here agreed on something, Matt would go the opposite way because it's just maybe it's my fault for indulging and entertaining it. But just when I think he's starting to be sensible, look at the players he thinks we can just sign, right? Look, this man is the ultimate hypocrite. He's gone from Spurs should go and bid 80, 90 million pounds for all these players. He's talking about Sesko and Wharton and Simons to you're writing off Archie Gray. Well, hang on. If you want those players, how are you wanting Archie Gray?
Yeah.
Which one is it, mate? Do you want Archie Grays or do you want Whartons, Simons, Morgan Gibbs-White, Paulinho's, like Douglas Luiz? Which one is it?
I just think it's interesting, right? Look, I get it. Like, I understand why people want young players to succeed. I get all that. But I think my issue will always be with it. It's fine. But when you don't offer a valid rationale and your arguments are so easily undoable, they're so easily undoable that it almost makes your opinion irrelevant, right? As I said, everyone can have an opinion. I hear this all the time. Yeah, I could say my opinion that it is pitch black right now. It's not. There's still daylight outside. Doesn't make my opinion right. It just means it's an opinion, right? I think we've just got to be a bit more sensible with it.
I agree. And by the way, again, I really hope that, listen, last thing I'll say, and we are going to wrap up the show in a minute. I hope that Gray turns into a top player. There's no reason. When people say you've got an agenda against a player, there's no reason why I wouldn't want every Spurs player to be the best.
Agreed.
Listen, let's do some super chats. Bobby, this is it. Spursy, this is the problem. Our fans, 1 minute, I want this player. Next minute, I want someone shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, worse. There's no in between. Let's have a look. Big up to Philip Randall. Very generous super sticker. Thank you very much, Philip. Really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, but Very grateful to you for doing that. Big up to you. Thank you very much, Philip. The General Tracks. So this is my music video account and channel. Big up, General Tracks. My man, Craig Scott. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Please go and subscribe
quality
to the General
name,
Tracks.
by the way. That's a quality name.
I love General Tracks is a great name. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. MUFC has said Mbuemo rejected Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Chelsea are believed to have made a late attempt to hijack the deal. That's Paul. I think there's going to be a lot of hearsay in what you've just said there. I mean, is there any fact that he's done that? Listen, Man U will always have Paul. Of that, I've got no idea. No doubt. So fair play.
Yeah, I think the player always wanted to go to Man United. I expected teams like Arsenal, Spurs. I expected those sort of clubs to want someone like Mbuemo, but I think there was no real. I don't think anyone sort of expected him to go anywhere else, right?
Destiny, come on, dude, get over it. Come on, a bit of banter, my man. Come on. What are we doing here? What's wrong with you? Come on. By the way, big up to you, MUFC. Really appreciate that, my man. And big up to Jamie Allen. Said, I agree with you guys when it comes to not picking up young players too early. But Savva did say VDV was Spurs' best player after one season. Big up, guys. I mean, when we signed, Mickey van der Ven, he was a seasoned pro, had played in the German league.
Wasn't a kid, wasn't he?
He played in Holland, and then he'd had a year in the Premier League, and he was 22, 23, right? Huge difference to somebody who's had half a season in a top league. Big up to you, Jamie. Where do we cut off the young age? Like how long do you think football is young?
If a player's played professional football like at a top level, I think that is the cutoff, right? Surely, but anyway, it's interpretation, I guess.
But big up to you, Jamie. What I will ask, the link I'm putting in the chat right now. Is for the Spurs 5. And before any of you lose, I'm seeing already people who can't handle it. Yes, what we've done, Stel, Sean, myself, Johnny, and Lubo, what we've gone and done is we have bought Henry Wright's old channel off him in a business transaction in our own transfer window and removed his content. He has sold it to us. He's not part of the channel. Okay. He's exploring other options. Yeah. We still love Henry. Hence why we've done business with Henry. That channel is now the channel and the home for the Spurs 5. Please, 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 could you get over there and subscribe? At the moment, the channel is on 22.9 thousand subscribers. We're going to grow that. We're going to make it a huge, massive super channel. So there is the link. If everybody could get over there, if you were already subscribed to Henry, no, Henry's not off YouTube. Henry's doing Henry Talks Football. Henry's smashing it on his other thing. So if you haven't subbed, please do. I'm sure most of you would have been subbed to Henry. If you're not, please do smash that button. It is much appreciated as we try and grow that. The first live show is Thursday. And here is the sneak preview of the thumbnail for you. If you haven't seen it, there it is. There it is, the Spurs 5 with our new logo. There's Johnny, Sean, Stel, myself, and Lubo. So the Spurs 5, episode 1, will be at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. I will be live on this channel at 7 p.m. and then I'll take everyone over. But if you haven't subscribed, please do. Seen a lot of hate.
Guys, we got the here we go about the new channel. They activated a release clause that was in the contract of the thing, and actually Henry took them to court because it was actually a hidden clause in the contract. That's why it's taken so long. No, I'm just playing, obviously, on that. But yeah, look, I think it'll be good. I think you've got what no one surely now can say that it's an echo chamber, right? When you've got the likes of Sean, Stel, Lubo, yourself, and Johnny in a mixing pot. I don't think anyone can sit there and say that it's an echo chamber. Look, I think it'll be good. I think you've got 5 characters, 5 people that aren't scared to share an opinion. I think it'll be good. I think, yeah.
So listen, I'll just ask. Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that, Perchy. So what I'll say is there is the link. Please subscribe. I've just seen that about 30 of you have, which is very well appreciated. Please get over there. Help it grow. We've just flown over 23,000 mark. Fair play to Henry. But unfortunately, guys, it's like anything else. Henry wasn't using the channel. Henry said, look, do you want to do a bit of business? We said, yeah, why not?
Guys in the chat before you let's not hate on Henry. Like, Henry's doing his own thing. Look, there's no need.
Henry's a great creator.
Henry is decided to go and do stuff about all sorts of football, which you're allowed to do, right? He's not using the channel, so it makes sense. Let's not waste stuff. Look, let's not for the sake of it have a go at other people. The world's full of hate in itself. Let's not be stupid about stuff, right, man?
Yeah. So thank you very much. You are all subbing, so thank you very much. That's going to be live for the first time, as I said, Thursday, 8 p.m. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of time for us to get up to speed and stuff, but we're working out formats. We've got a meeting actually about it at 9:15 tonight, so we're going to miss Love Island. Damn. When you say Henry is gracious giving that to us, yes. The word bought comes into play. But listen, it's big. I won't have a bad word said. Henry is my friend. I won't have a bad word said about Henry. He wasn't using the channel anymore. We wanted to start the channel and said, well, why don't we start it with a base of Tottenham supporters anyway? So guys, there's the link. Please go and subscribe. I am going to send you over to Football Inc. They are live right now. Please type in Savva Raid. Much love. Take care. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscribers. Thank you to Perchy. And it only leaves me to ask, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Maybe next week we'll have news about a signing. Peace out, guys.
See you later, guys. Bye.